Hi, this is Ross Payton with episode 4 of RPPR After Hours. Lucky 13. We're looking at issue 13 of The Rifter, Palladium's own magazine. We're also talking about our own personal headcanons, like the Cop Wizard of Payday 2. It's a lot of fun. It's a very rambunctious episode. In RPPR news, I've posted the beta PDF of Labyrinth Signal, a new action horror RPG I've developed. The beta contains all you need to play, including a full scenario. There's also a brand new episode of After Hours on the Patreon where we look at possibly the weirdest superhero RPG ever made, Canon. There's a free preview of the episode on YouTube, and you can all watch it, which I've linked in the show notes. But the full episode's on the Patreon right now. If you want to support RPPR, now's the time to join. We have over 10 years of bonus content now, including podcasts, full scenarios, games, and a great community on our Discord. I also run monthly games online for our patrons with original scenarios I've developed just for the patrons. So it's a lot of fun, and I have a lot of fun doing it. If you want some great RPG content, that's the place to get it. Anyways, enjoy this episode, and thanks for listening.
Hey, this is Ross Payton of Roleplaying Boat Radio. This is RPPR After Hours, episode 3. This will be called Lucky 13, because we're going to be reviewing the Rifter number 13, which is about curses and superstition and unlucky
other
numbers.
things.
Lucky charms, potions.
So wait a minute.
Yeah.
Ross just does the normal announcer voice. Doesn't that contrast with the ball slapping intro music?
Actually, I think for this
Well,
one,
I'm going to change
might
what
go for
the
something a little
intro music
classier.
will be. Like, I actually forgot it for the last episode, so I don't want to just have ball slapping this music every time.
Why would you not want that?
Because then it loses its impact. I mean,
Because eventually Ross is just going to start
you heard
talking.
us. Defund the Patreon now.
God, already phoning it again.
All right.
Just give up.
I'll find something else. All right?
Ross will have
I'll
to
take
start-
suggestions.
Well, since we're doing stuff about superstitions, potions, lucky charms, I'm thinking something gypsy.
Yeah.
Is that racist?
Roma, I think, is the preferred nomenclature. Yeah, I could find some violin
Okay.
music or
Is
something.
that Romance?
Traveling
Yeah.
fortune tellers.
Yes.
Or the intro
Better?
music from the last Payday
I'll find
trailer.
some Ravenloft type music.
Or
so,
hey, Ross, just use the intro music from
Ravenloft.
the from the Drake.
Yeah,
trailer
everybody's-
from Payday 2.
Yeah,
What
something
is
like
it?
that.
Panther vampires?
Yes, Manthers.
He started like
Baron
Von
von
Karp.
Van Manthers. Thank you.
Who went to charms.
Don't thank me.
At least it's not an antidoter.
Jesus.
We'll also be talking about headcanon. Caleb brought this topic up.
Fire
And
the
so
orbital
headcanon is the idea of you're interpreting something from pop culture and
It's what
that's
Tumblr-
Intentionally misinterpreted.
It's what Tumblr
Intentionally,
exists
yeah,
for.
that's a good,
Yes. Intentionally misinterpreted.
So-
you have very little to no support,
yes.
but you choose to believe it is.
I
Vehemently.
disregard your reality and
with,
substitute my
with the
own.
violent conviction of religious fanaticism.
And that is in town,
Yeah.
so we have a very
Oh,
I was
yeah.
kind of hoping we wouldn't acknowledge it, and I would just kind of.
like, oh yeah, that people are left. Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
is that
people
fake?
mention the cameras like, what are you talking
Is it-
about?
wait, actually, wait, is
I don't
it-
hear anything.
Wait, is fake in this one?
It's just static, yeah. Yeah, I'll just edit out your voice and put it in number stations. So we're referring to and it's like a Chewbacca
Ross,
situation.
come on, that'd be a lot of work.
Yeah, that would be work, and
But would it be worth it?
yeah,
Nah.
it's bad luck to work. I'll tell you that much.
That brings us full circle.
So, David and Ted, you've both been doing a lot of research into the Rifter 13, which is 114 pages of Palladium. Not good enough for their actual books.
Not ready for prime time
Not ready for
Palladium.
prime.
Oh, God.
It's-
113 pages of pure
Ball slapping.
slapping is Palladium.
Is there a
mediocrity.
drinking game that we're setting up that I'm not aware
It's
of?
not even ball slap. This is like
Well,
the
there is a
shot of
box
the
of
guy's
wine behind
ass.
you.
I mean, it's just like the word.
It's the
pumping
grease
away.
trap of the grease trap of gaming.
No, it's the grease encrusted vents over the
It's so
fine
Well,
flat grill of
But I didn't read this shit, so someone else
because
do this.
literally no one could have made him.
So yeah,
We
I know
tried.
there's stuff for the Rift, for Rifts, the Palladium Fantasy. There's fiction. There's a comic.
There is.
There's
Two
two
comics.
comics. That's right.
And the artwork's and the artwork's good.
Yeah, and so, but David, what do you want to talk about first?
Tell us.
Well, shall I take this one, or did you want it, Dan?
That's the only part of the Rifter I read, David, outside of from the desk of Symbieta. So
Jesus.
You know what?
Oh yeah,
Desk of
Symbieta has a
might be
desk.
right there.
All right, yeah, let's.
I will pass this on to the Dan.
all right.
Okay.
So on my way here, David drew my attention to something for Nightbane, a PCC called The Cursed. Essentially, if this is the Call of Cthulhu equivalent of I'm gonna play the guy with 10 sanity, and we're starting masks from session 1, and I only have 10 sanity to start with.
Yeah.
That's the bare bones of this class. This class is psychic enough to see all the horrible monsters of the Nightbane setting as they are.
Yeah, because one thing about Nightbane is that, for those of you who aren't
Is this
familiar
like
with the
the
setting,
Hunter the Reckoning
is
thing
that
where
they
there's
have
just
a-
monsters around?
well, it's actually like they
Players
live.
play monsters.
Oh.
But like, so the monsters hide in plain sight. They pretend to be people, and so there's unless you have
There's
your
a
special-
masquerade of sorts.
There is.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, it's one of those things where you will randomly roll up what your monster has. And so
Because-
Wait, hold on. In a Palladium game, you randomly roll up the stuff about your character?
I know that. I'm just blowing your mind, but get ready because
It's
I'm
a
about to
great
blow it a
game,
little
yeah.
bit
I
further.
really wish we could have like a camera on Caleb's face so just going along with the audio, people could
Caleb
watch
Cam. Caleb Cam. That's what we need.
the joy of
Can
what
I just
the-
go back to Dan's phrase "psychic enough" because I love it. Like, if I ever have a character that has any mental abilities, like, are you psychic? Yeah, enough.
Are you
Get by.
Are you a psychic enough dude?
I can bend some spoons. You know, I mean, what do you need?
Not all the spoons, but some of
Oh
them.
yeah, a
I mean,
few,
I'm not
definitely.
pro, but I'm like,
I'm
I
psychic
like
at-
Bush League.
It's like I'm psychic in an Uri Geller kind
It's
of
like
way.
you can't do like the speed Rubik's Cube solving, but you can solve one eventually.
Just give me a hammer. I'll solve it right
Google
now.
that, yeah.
You just really undersell it.
Psychic enough.
But yeah, the thing is,
Anyway.
so anyway, Nightbane. If you're playing it and you're a player character, you have to randomly determine what your monster shape is going to be,
Right.
and then when you need to, basically at
It's
will.
basically ripping off that Clive Barker movie.
Dark Breed.
Oh, Nightbreed.
Yeah,
Nightbreed.
Nightbreed,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
But David
Nightbreed to
Cronenberg's in
Night
it.
Spawn to Nightbane. Boy, that was a great,
Welcome.
very
to
original
Nightbane.
title. But
So-
anyway,
Actually, originally,
So,
Night Spawn,
let's go with
Todd
player
McFarlane
Bob.
sued them.
Player Bob rolls up on his random table that he can transform himself into a 9-foot tall lizard with barbed wire shooting out of his eyeballs.
I only remember one, like, and the table's like a couple of pages. They're very long, and there's multiple things that you have to roll. My favorite, though, part is that you can actually roll to have a motorcycle.
Is this an actual thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
They're not
It
just
is.
making this shit
Yeah.
up.
We're not.
You can actually roll just that your
That is if
monster
you only
form
roll twice.
is like from the
Motorcycle
waist down.
centaur.
Yeah, waist down your motorcycle.
The other thing that's important not to think about is they're pulling this off the top of their head, so they just know this.
We played it.
We're not going to get anywhere with this podcast because everything you say brings up more questions. So if your bottom half's a motorcycle, is it like one half of a motorcycle? So you're like a unicycle?
No, it's like you're where the
If
headlight
you
would
want
be.
to.
So you're
Well,
like
you're
a
like-
you're
you're
like
like
a
handlebar.
centaur.
So are you like Gizmo Duck, or are you like Mandroid? Like what amount of vehicle
It's,
is your lower
it's
half?
like a motorcycle centaur.
Okay.
That actually depends on how you roll. 'cause
And you get bonuses.
part of the table is unicycle, part of it is centaur.
Oh, there-
Oh well, like like
Or there's
Because there's different parts.
Or there's
of
another one where your face is a TV screen.
I'm sorry, but now the Gizmo Duck comment just made me superimpose Cthulhu mythos
Yes.
onto Gizmo Duck.
Headcanon.
Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
But okay, so
Okay.
the reason I bring
So-
this up is in the Curse PCC. The reason is like all the bad guys pretend to be humans, or like a lot
and
of
even the good guys pretend to be humans.
yeah. So,
And
but
the Curse
so-
PCC is just a human
yeah.
that sees everybody.
So he's just wearing the sunglasses from They Live
yeah,
all
yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
So, say for instance, with the 8-foot
That's
tall
why he's psychic
lizard
I'm here to
with the
chew
barbed wire
bubblegum
out.
and roll based on very confusing arbitrary tables. And the table says I might be out of bubblegum.
And I'm not. So, like, I have quite a bit. I will be doing that.
In fact, I secrete bubblegum from my eyes.
So let me just read an excerpt
Oh yes.
about the key ability for the cursed PCC, the sight. This is what the power is most often called. A person with this power will see what another person really is. This ranges from people using magic to hide themselves to any of the Night Lord's minions.
Those are the bad guys. Nightbane are the good guys. Night Lords are the bad guys. There's a lot of night in this game, is what I'm saying.
This
From the
also
Nightlands, yeah.
includes astral beings, and if they ever come across a changeling, they would see its natural form. Though they can see creatures using magic to make themselves invisible, they cannot see the magic itself. So a magic sword would look
important
just
distinction.
like a normal sword to them. As stated earlier, this
What if it was an axe disguised as a sword?
They would see the axe
Okay.
because they see it as it really is.
All right, that was a test. Good.
Why would you do
Good
that?
answer.
Even if you're a crazy ass wizard, it's still a cutting weapon.
Ask all
Make
the-
it into an umbrella or something.
Ross,
Because
ask-
then it looks like it doesn't hit you where it hits you. It's all about hitboxes, Ross.
Oh.
Catch up.
Wow.
also ask all of the people that do transmog runs in World of Warcraft.
Can we not?
Yeah.
That's not to say
that
we
would
did.
probably take a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's
Okay, I know you said at the start who would play this character, and I just want to make it very clear, me. If we play Nightbane, I feel like this guy would die first, and I could go home, and so I would scream.
Well, that depends on what you roll on the after player death table.
Damn it.
You could come
But
back as a power
no,
hungry
you haven't
ghost.
get to the best part.
Oh god, the best part.
Yeah, as stated earlier, this gift comes with a grave price. For every week after it starts, the character must make a roll to see if they have to also make a roll on the cursed insanity table. The first roll is at 5%, and if its past goes, grammar, up another 3%. That's
So-
exactly how it's written in the book. Page 22, look at it yourself.
So you have a 5% chance to succeed.
No, you have
No,
a 5% chance to fail.
Oh, okay.
To
But
get
then
an
next
insanity.
week, you get an 8% chance.
Oh,
And as
it
long as you-
stacks.
yeah.
Like it accelerates.
As long as you see something every week,
If you
you
see
keep
something,
adding
say
3%.
something.
Oh, I'm so glad they added.
No, if you see something, say
That's
nothing.
such a natural.
And drink to forget.
Natural progression.
Especially
fuck,
starting with
William?
5.
At 4.5%,
Look, clearly-
rounded down, then up.
Clearly, if you were not one of the
Sideways.
magically humanoid concepts of a number, which are also in this volume of the Rifter, then clearly you should be able to understand
I
this.
think Kevin Sivieta made Common Core math. That's my.
So let's see, it's 5.
Answer headcanon.
It's going in the book.
All right, Dan.
Headcanon.
If they fail the roll, then they roll on the insanity table below and start again the next week at 5%.
Oh god.
However, if they go a whole week without seeing anything unusual, they do not have to add the 3% to the roll.
They do not pass go.
Okay,
Goes. Sorry.
I love the insanities themselves. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 insanities.
So these stack like over and
Yes.
yeah,
Like the
you can keep getting. Eventually, you'll get all 7 insanities.
the first column is like a fanficky introduction to what's the dude's name? Steve.
over. The cop.
Yeah, Steve the cop. That's essentially what happens, is that he keeps getting more and more insanities until he decides to show everyone how horrible the monsters in City Hall are and shoots
And he
people.
goes Roddy Piper on them.
Yes.
With a shotgun, though.
And then, yeah, pretty much this class only exists to go insane.
Okay, and I love. All right, but the thing is, I love the way this works out. So the 7 insanities are 1, phobia, open spaces. Makes sense. There's lots of scary things around. 2, neurosis. Roll on the neurosis table in Nightbane, which could be any number.
So you have to roll to see if you
Wait,
have to
they're
roll
not-
on this table. to
Aren't
see if
they
you have to
all
roll
the
on
neurosis table when you
So
think
are there
about
any-
it?
Are you saying there's exploding tables
Yes.
in this game?
Yo, dog, I heard you like tables. So I made a table that'll take you to this table. That'll
The
take you
table
to
will
this
roll to
table.
see if you go to the table that you see
And
to roll
remember,
to.
Palladium is an alignment system, so the next one is an insanity is a positive alignment change. You become a better person. You become a more moral person.
What if you're already principal?
If they are already principled, they become a fanatic for their cause.
And then there's obsession, true, if you have to tell the truth all the time. But then there's negative alignment change, so you can become a worse person. So
What
Wait,
happens
wait,
if you
wait.
take both of those?
Wait,
You become
it's
better,
one per
then
week.
worse.
hold
or
on.
worse, then
Obsession
better.
truth, so there's a way that it makes you play as though Aaron were playing you?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
Here.
I see what you did there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
I'll
there's-
shit on my friends who aren't here on a recording that is
Oh.
perfectly accessible.
Aaron had the choice to be here to get shit on in person.
and then there's
I'm
affective
genuine.
disorders, which are another one in another book.
And by the way, I have
then
to point out
violent
on both
outbursts.
of those tables in other books,
This is
there
basically-
is the chance that you can hit a thing on it that makes you roll on another table.
There's
and
not
violent
enough.
outbursts
So there is a way that
basically
you can
Roddy
make it to
Piper.
6
Yeah.
different tables.
There are not enough face
Well,
palms.
it's the killing spree one.
Yeah, I think someone watched They Live when they thought of that.
But I love the idea of like that positive and negative alignment chains are both insanities, and because you keep rolling forever as long as your character is alive.
There's no
so
escape.
eventually you're just going to be bounty. You're going to get all the others, and you're just like, oh, now I'm principled. This week I'm diabolic. I'm just going to be a serial killer.
Oh, Kevin went all in jealous again.
I love
Not
that.
going to his house.
Okay, now I do admit, I love the picture that goes with it.
Yeah, there's a guy. He's just
At an
like,
office.
and everyone around him is a
Wait,
monster.
we have
Except
2
one.
fucking copies of this book? Why?
I got it for free at Vision Con one year.
I paid $1 for it years ago because
So-
it had rules on Lucky Charms.
Anyway,
2 more excerpts to read. One, I'm going to go out of order here, about PPE, which is
Personal psychic energy.
Thank
Yes.
you, because
Your
I had
magic points.
to look shit up. I am not an expert here.
most of the PPE was burned up in acquiring of these psychic powers. Permanent PPE base is now 1d4, so at most you can have 4 PPE. Now, another thing to note about this system is that if you weren't playing a horrible monster masquerading as a human, you could play a sorcerer that had access to a similar power suite.
Magic.
Yeah, from the monsters that are all pretending to be people. However, earlier on, there's a note: only a normal human will go through this change to be accursed. It will not happen to Nightbane, and the person does not have enough PPE to ever become a sorcerer. So you get enough PPE to make you think that you have.
Not psychic enough.
You are just psychic enough to go insane.
and I also love.
I
that-
like the picture of the robot skeletons that still have fucking Pat Benatar hair.
Actually,
Let
those,
Lucy
are,
that.
those are hounds. They're the
Oh yeah,
foot
those.
soldier minions of the night.
And
One of
wicked Pat Benatar hair.
Wait, one of them
Awesome
holding a
pearls.
coffee mug
Yeah.
that
Dark.
reads "Dark day comes every Monday." Ha 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 ha! Nightbane office humor.
Yeah, dark
God.
days.
I also love that they also there's aside from potential psychic energy PPE, there's also
Inner-
ISP
inner strength
inner
points.
strength points,
Of course there are.
which PPE is for magic, even though it specifically says they're psychic energy, and inner strength points are for psychic abilities, which are different somehow.
Psionics.
But yeah, the curse will never develop any other psychic powers, so that's all.
All you get is the ability to go nuts because you can see the monsters.
Yes.
And I love the fact that
Can we all play as this character?
I love the fact that
Are we all already this
I think we
character?
are.
Well,
The thing is,
I can think of one role for this particular character in a support setting, and that is if you've got a full party of, full-on monsters that just can't see the other monsters out there. It's, well, we keep looking for the Night Lord's minions, but we can't find
Bring
them.
Phil.
Bring Shaky Phil. Phil,
He's like
bring
in a
Steve.
straitjacket. They just point his face at things. Hey, are those monsters? Ah, I'm a good guy. I can't. Ah.
but the thing is, there's no
I'm
other
bad
rules
now.
for no one else goes that crazy seeing monsters in the game. Like there are other ways. to go.
Just that guy.
Just that guy. That guy sees a monster, he loses his shit. Bob, the other psychic, who is more than psychic enough, he's like, yeah, no,
and can have other psychic powers.
exactly.
Like the ability to hide. It's just a
Turning yourself into a monster is not as traumatic as seeing a monster across the street.
I've got barbed wire shooting out of my eyeballs. Well, at least I can live with it. Oh my God, you've got barbed wire shooting out of
I
your
also
eyes.
like their skills
Ah!
because each character class gets a certain number of skills. So speak literate in native language. Select 5 work
Oh, sorry.
related skills.
It was speak literate,
I
not
just
speak
want to,
illiterate,
let's just
right?
go back.
Yeah.
Speak literate.
Speak/literate in
Not
native language.
Not fluent,
Fluently,
for example.
perhaps.
No, you open your mouth and printed
Words.
words.
No, actually,
flows
Spell
out.
out.
Actually,
find
fun
it-
fact. Yeah, your like your native language sometimes doesn't start at the maximum level.
No, we that happened to us in Eliminators, didn't it?
Probably.
Somebody.
I think the vagabond probably.
You know
did.
what I
But they
just.
also get 2 domestic skills, so that makes up for it.
And plus,
You know what
They
I
can
find
do 2 domestic
really-
things.
add plus 10.
Well, they also get 8 other skills of their choice, so
Oh,
they
God.
and they get access to the entire domestic category. So with a plus 5% bonus.
I will cook to defeat evil.
You know what I find totes adorbs about this class is that if you look at the experience table, there's an experience table assuming that this character will survive long enough to hit level 15.
Yeah.
Which is the maximum, by the way.
Which you need.
Is it the maximum, or just do I need to buy another book for plus?
No, none of their books have ever gone over 15.
There's really not every level gives you basically nothing or very little unless you're a specific guy. The characters are front loaded; they get almost all their utility in the first level. And the thing is,
just have to point out too. Once you get to some of the BTS characters later on,
beyond the supernatural
for
the layman.
That's another.
I apologize.
Which, by the way, was declared.
So is everything in 3 acronyms?
Yes.
Oh my
More or less.
god!
And
PCC,
all.
by the way, PCC means psychic character class, as opposed to OCC, which is occupational character.
And there's
class.
also RCC. which
I'm
is
not actually
racial.
sure which
There's
out.
also the MCCs,
Oh,
the monster character class.
See, I'm not sure which outnumbers which in
Oh, if
in
you
the
can only
book.
see Caleb at this moment.
If it's 3-letter initialisms for arcane bullshit, or if it's the registered trademark symbol that shows up on every fucking title.
They just
of every,
overdub the audio.
Yeah.
The room starts spinning.
But yeah, here's the sad part on that. Cursed PCC.
One sad part.
Oh, okay, there's more sad parts. Let me give you this one. The experience chart listed on page
Caleb,
23.
you need some of the whiskey wine.
The occultist experience levels for Beyond the Supernatural.
Yeah.
The cursed gains experience slower than the occultists do. The occultist actually knows what they're doing and levels up faster.
Doesn't go crazy every.
Yeah, the cursed goes crazy every week, potentially.
Well,
So that slows down his game.
No, it's different though. The cultists, they're punch clock crazy. That's their job. The other guy, that's just the way. He can't control it. He's just cursed.
Holy
So
shit! One of
obviously-
the occultist ability is literally deductive reasoning. That's a specific class ability for the
Wait, so you
occultist.
said so the psychics and the monsters are kind of like Sam and Ralph from the Looney Tunes, morning Sam.
Morning, Ralph.
Exactly.
But we don't just have the occultist for Beyond the Supernatural. We also have the cryptozoologist.
Oh, I love the cryptozoologist.
So, go back. If deductive reasoning is a skill, but I can't do
It's a
that
special
playing
ability.
my
It's
character.
a special
Special ability. That's it.
How particulate does these fucking get? Is your rhetoric skill subdivided
Well, actually,
into rebuttals?
my
I got a better
favorite-
20% in rebuttals. I'm shit at appeals and counter arguments, but my rebuttals are great. I'm
Hold on,
a specialist.
let me get my
I'm the RCC. I'm in the rebuttal character.
let me get my Toolman chart
I'm
of
generally
rhetoric
playing
here
a
and make
13th
sure.
level contrarian. What the fuck?
Well, are we doing Rogerian argumentation, or are we doing?
I don't have that book.
At some point, Simeon is going to listen to this podcast because he's secretly
Is
a
he?
backer, and he's going to create the rhetoric source book for Palladium.
Oh my God! What?
I don't know.
what have
I
we
don't think.
wrought?
My God,
I think we're
Caleb,
safe
what
in
have you
that
done?
respect.
Mecha Socrates.
I think we're safe in that respect because that would require Samia to give money to somebody.
Oh,
And that is something. That is something he
Oh,
will not
but
talk
the
about.
cryptozoologist.
Yeah.
Would you like to review the cryptozoologist?
Well, I just remembered when he brought it up. My favorite thing that the cryptozoologist
You have
has.
fucking highlights.
I did.
Printed shit out and you highlighted it.
I'm
God damn it.
I'm a fucking grad student, man. I'm the worst kind of person. They're letting me get a PhD in English, so I've eroded further in the intervening.
It's an unconscious act for him. He didn't
there was-
even realize he was doing it. He just looked
There
down
was
the
one.
marker was in his hand.
It was like an ability, and the ability was sense fraud.
Yeah, here it is.
Which to
Recognize
me,
fraud.
yeah, recognize fraud.
Apparently,
which to
the
me is
people who
the
bought this book didn't have that skill.
yeah, which to me is the opposite of what cryptozoologists do in real life. Don't they really construct frauds? Isn't that more of?
Embrace delusions.
Well, no, the cryptozoologist.
No, come on.
100%.
Sometimes they do row around on Loch Ness and throw meat into
That's
the
true. Just in case.
Oh.
But no, if you have things to hit here, I just remembered that part, so feel free.
Oh, wait, no. It's here. Note, this skill only applies to animal, including human, evidence such as tracks, droppings, and remains. So you can look at the shit on the ground and go, that is fake shit.
That is regular bear shit. That is not man, bear, pig. Clearly.
Because if it was man, bear, pig, it would have more stuff in it.
But if someone shows up to convince you to become an Amway salesman,
bear pig.
You would fall.
yeah,
you
you'll
could
still
fall for the Amway pitch.
right, but you're
But
not
you'd be
gonna
able to
fall.
look at the man. Yeah.
And then the poor curse guy who's along on the trip sees a man bear pig. It's oh, that's my crazy thing for the week.
I became evil.
And I rolled
I'm not evil now.
Kill all those campers.
Oh.
Actually, but the thing
But
is, you
because
can't-
I picked up an OCD last week, first I have to count all of these scat bits. Why did it have to shit everywhere? Damn it.
So let's just continue along in this game. So the cryptozoologist sees man, bear, pig, fake shit. Crazy guy goes insane, becomes violent, hits cryptozoologist. Cryptozoologist starts bleeding, has to roll to make sure her blood is real or not.
Well, I think she can choose to make that check. I don't know if it's automatic. Is it? Is it?
I think that one is.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get the other book.
Oh, God.
Well, wait a minute. It's 30%
And the occultist
plus
is like,
5%.
well, I better deduce what's going on here.
or rebut it.
Yeah.
Oh.
This makes no logical sense.
And their deductive reason only starts at like 20% too.
And there are
It's
still
just
people
not
that
very
there are
good
still
at-
people that fanatically play Palladium.
Uh,
In fact, there's a group at Metagames that actually the owners are like, yeah, they still come in here every week and play
they just
Palladium.
manifest out of the darkness.
We should watch them, like, as a study. Just like
No, you
just
can't.
like erect some fake like brushes and reeds, and then like
The gamers in the
telescopes
mist,
come
is
out
that
of
what
them.
we're
I'm not filling out the IRB forms for this.
Just like
no.
walk like 15 feet to them and sit down and sit there for an hour, and then like inch forward a little bit more.
It's like-
So they don't get threatened.
It's like-
Although I am totally in favor of doing the voiceover for it, like the David Attenborough
It's
just.
like, and then they roll on yet another table.
And now we hear what we call the majestic table scramble, where they try to find the sub-table within the table, which the table led them to.
Damn it, Todd! It's not in this book. Which book is it in?
Like,
And we see
there was
them.
a challenge for leadership.
Unfortunately, none of them took boxing, so they could only attack twice per 15-second interval.
You can tell which one is the leader based on the quality of the neck beard.
Oh.
Somehow gamers in the mist. I don't know.
Isn't that just like
We are
gamers playing
so
Myst
comfortable.
instead
And
of
we named
sleeping
them.
or
And
eating?
of course-
Which is
And of course, we named them.
Yeah.
full motion video.
I don't know. I can kind of see it more like a paranormal activity thing. You set up the security cameras, we watch it, and then the screen starts flickering as they start flipping through the Rift's book, and then they're screaming in possession. So
Yeah, like happens.
now you see, and this is the perfect segue because now we're talking about headcanon, like how we're
All
interpreting
right, so
it.
here's my wrist headcanon.
Okay.
Oh, God.
And it's not even a wrist headcanon. It's a Palladium headcanon inside an Unknown Armies headcanon.
Oh,
So my Unknown Armies headcanon, the Unknown Armies campaign I will never run. In it, the bibliophiles in Palladium books, there is one rule in each book that if assembled in the correct
Oh,
formation,
God.
creates the perfect game. That is to play it is to transcend.
It creates
But-
the true Palladium.
Yeah.
become part of the
it-
invisible clergy.
One becomes the archetype of the gamer. If one can homebrew out of the play, but to pursue the quest is madness because one must go through all of the Palladium books, and no one has
And
ever
find
done
out
it.
Including
one
every
true-
issue.
Find the true rules.
Including every issue of Rifters.
And I can see like a
Of the
sub.
Rifters,
No, I love that
sorry.
because then you could have opposing factions. Like one's like, no, you must take the Palladium rules and then intermix them with Cinnabar. Only then that can all.
No,
Heretic!
So like
Roll to burn him!
in my
That rock
Unknown
roll
Armies
on the burning
campaign,
table.
there is a subcult on the subtable of bibliomancers that are just obsessed with like debating Palladium like the Talmud. Like just
Oh, they write commentaries?
yes.
Like I Ching things where they're different scholars, like their commentaries stack.
And that's my headcanon.
Wow.
Oh,
So yeah,
that is joyous.
That is supported by nothing.
headcanon. Yeah, is
Other than the
Well,
fact
Tobo's
that I
how
think
to
if you
recognize
assembled
fraud.
every
It
Palladium
starts at
rule,
30%.
you would have a sub-skill for everything a human being could feasibly do, apparently.
if you added in all the class abilities, because like again, they take things like deductive reasoning and make that specific to occultists. No one else in the entire Beyond the Supernatural universe can learn deductive reasoning. Only occultists.
There's not like a pool of abilities.
Yeah.
You just get what that
There's
class
also no
has.
cross.
You just think that because you haven't dived into the numerology of the base skill levels.
Oh, yeah,
which
clearly.
clearly are an advanced cipher.
I start at 15%
Based on all the
and add
notes
4% per experience level. So, And plus 6% for my IQ once, because I have an IQ of 260.
Stop knowing this off the top of your head. It's freaking me out.
Although fun fact, like the IQ stat, they flat out said it's your character's IQ times 10. So you get no bonuses unless you roll a 16 or higher. So unless your IQ is 160 or higher, you get no bonuses to your skills.
But in older Palladium things, I think they changed it later on. There's no penalty for having an IQ, and you roll 3d6,
And that did- yeah.
so you can have an IQ of 30 and be a
Like you
medical
could
doctor.
actually be developmentally disabled
No,
as,
well,
as
that
a
happened.
clinical
I
thing.
talked about this before.
But you
in
have
Euro-
no penalty
but
to your
in
skill
Heroes
levels.
Unlimited, like I rolled a 3 on my IQ, but for my random education, I rolled doctorate. So I was a medical doctor, and I
just
was
wanna be
barely
really clear.
sentient.
We had a perfect segue into the headcanon.
And we broke that.
And you guys went right back to fucking Palladium.
Look, oh no, actually,
Sick
actually no, that does actually take me to one of my things about the Palladium thing here, because
Oh yes,
this is for you actually, Caleb.
All of the
This is specifically for you. Talking about like their subscription plug at the end of this is one of the lines in there. But mainly why you should subscribe is because each and every one of us, from game designer and publisher to Joe Gamer, traverses the Megaverse every time they read an RPG or play in a role-playing game. We travel an infinite realm of the imagination. That's right, Caleb. Every game is always already ripped. And always has been.
That's why that's why the game is hidden inside. And to know it is to become more than
That's
man.
why they never updated the rules.
And that's our segue, motherfucker.
Holy shit, we just flashed back to
oh my
last
god!
year's
Yeah.
April Fool's game, where we were all already playing Rips.
And now
Those Paladins were
drops to Mike.
Yeah. But yeah, headcanon is really fun. I think, and speaking of infinite universes, as I've said before in the podcast, I am a huge fan of Payday 2, the video game.
No, really?
Yeah, I know.
What is this Payday of which you
So
speak,
you
Brian?
play
I've never
criminals
heard
who
of it.
shoot cops and rob banks.
It's
But
Heat.
the thing,
It's Heat, the video.
it's
game.
Heat, the video game, very much so.
I can only afford to play free Flash games in browsers.
It's on sale. I'll give it.
It doesn't matter if my laptop can't run it, asshole.
That's true. But okay,
Don't
so
feel bad,
the thing is,
yeah,
in the
I
game,
won't now.
if you're doing a loud heist, if you're not sneaking around, you will kill hundreds of cops in any given level, just hundreds of them.
And there's 4 of you.
And there's 4 of you versus like literally in one session, I would kill like 193 cops, and I was one of 4 guys. So we kill between us about 600 to 800 cops.
And their tactics.
So you're an 80s movie protagonist, is what you're telling
Yeah,
me.
all the-
their tactics are just run in groups. Just all of you go in and kill these
Go.
four guys.
So Gary Oldman's outside saying that what do you mean? Everyone!
That's pretty much it. And so my headcanon is that the Payday crew, for example, are telepathic mutants fighting against a corrupt state that is run by evil cop wizards.
Wait, maybe they just have
Comparomancers?
Yeah, copomancers.
Maybe they just have a beta level TACnet. New headcanon.
No, because the copmancers summon cops from the elemental plane of cops every time there's because they arrive within minutes.
Oh god, I hate the elemental plane of cops.
I know that's the only way it works. But the Payday crew are telepathic mutants because we can sense whenever someone's about to call the cops from 50 meters away without line of sight. Oh, that guy's about to call a cop. Better shoot him. And
But Ross, the penalty is you can only answer 4 pages.
yeah, you can only take out 4 security guards in stealth. The 5th one, they'll know. They'll just always know. But they'll believe any excuse up until then. Like,
And also, never mind suddenly you call them and you're suddenly an Irish woman.
yeah, or a Croatian guy who's like, my boner hit the pager. I'm sorry. That's one of the excuses you can give.
What?
But like, they're telepathic mutants as well because they can regenerate health. If you yell at them right, they will get up from gunshot wounds. Like, get the fuck up!
Like the usual modern shooter thing where you just run up and you cheer your friend away from their bleeding wound.
That's true. So that's my headcanon, is that there are evil police wizards.
I think they're physicists,
Yeah.
and that cops are a renewable resource. And that they're trying to attract so many cops to a single location until they achieve cop fusion. And when that happens, all the world's energy problems.
They are clearly a renewable resource. Because the thing is, the Payday crew can also mind control cops. They're clearly not people because you can literally scare one. He'll put his weapon weapon down, and then if you have the right skill, he will fight for you.
You can get them to change sides?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a power.
Oh my god.
So it's called the Joker ability. So
Or you can make big steel drills absolutely silent.
yeah, you can put thermal drills on all the doors, and just like they will break often, but you have an infinite supply.
God, I need a new computer. Oh.
And you.
I don't think you'd achieve your PhD. If
No, all of my dissertation would be about this.
Yeah.
That's how you get away with any free time in grad school, is you just study your free time.
Exactly.
And sometimes
That's
I even
it.
observe them cooking a whole batch of meth in a matter of 5 minutes.
Yeah, meth is also.
Oh, so they're also from Southern Missouri.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's great about meth labs is
I'm cooking meth now.
yeah, as long as you don't pour in the wrong ingredient, meth labs are indestructible. You can have firefights.
Except for the damage from
You can
meth
launch
heads.
grenades at them. You can hit them with a rocket launcher. But if you put the wrong ingredient, everything's gonna blow up. So clearly, we're in a realm of wizards
in
and
real
alchemy.
life.
Yeah, it's an alchemy lab, and where you're clearly.
And yet the next day the city's not locked down.
Yeah, exactly.
The next day it's just like, well,
Yeah.
The thing is that bothers me most about Payday 2 is when you get caught.
Yeah,
They let you go.
they give you all your ammo back too. Which
Well, I mean,
is
they do that in
nice.
GTA too. That's
Yeah,
like
you take a hostage and you trade one captured copper civilian. You're like, yeah, no, we'll give you back. We'll give you your friend.
So just to be clear, that's not how it works in reality.
No. You do-
Okay.
For one thing, you usually die if you're shot by 15 people at
Well,
once.
in reality, it would work for the 3 white characters. But not
Social sadity.
Yeah. So that's my headcanon from Payday 2. That's the one I will stick to, and that's what I'm going to put in Base Raiders. Basically, I will
my
write
God.
supplements that will explain capo policeomancers.
Caperomancer.
And
Capture
the
Mancer.
elemental
Cap-
plane of
capo-
cops.
capo-
But yeah, what other headcanons?
I want to
do
see
you
the
have?
character who's like that universe's version of Cyclops, where his eyes just open to that. So if he takes off his glasses, cops shoot at him. Instead of red concussion force, which really doesn't make any more sense.
but you have to feed them. You have to feed them.
I don't think you do. They're not people. Like
No, because there's no time in the elemental plane of
as soon
cops.
as the
They just
crime
come
stops,
out.
they run. They disappear. Like their corpses disappear.
Yeah, because as soon as you get in the vans, like if there's no siege going on, like, and here we go.
Yeah.
Driving away.
But yeah, what other headcanons are there?
So I've tried to save Mass Effect in my head. So
man, yeah.
it's a noble.
We're treading in dangerous water. Right?
I tried to save it. So there's the whole like it's not real. The Reapers.
The indoctrination
Yeah, the
theory.
indoctrination theory. I don't actually buy that. I don't buy the indoctrination.
you're creating your own conspiracy.
I'm creating my own conspiracy. So the writer quits shortly after Mass Effect 3 wraps. So it either happens because he wrote this ending originally and they wouldn't allow it and they went to the bullshit 3-color ending, or he tried to write an actual ending and they cut it for multiplayer, and as a result of that he wrote a really angry ending. But in my headcanon, there's like a beta, like unfinished version of Mass Effect ending where you fight, you do the full game as normal, you go against the Reapers, and then everyone fucking dies like they've been telling you is going to happen for the entire series. Like the fatalism.
Somebody has the guts to have like a horrible ending.
No, like it's cosmic fucking horror. It's total fatalism. It's like, Shepard, we told you it didn't matter. You should have just spent some time with your loved ones. Everyone is dead.
Everyone learns
The
an
end.
important lesson.
Fuck you,
about-
Buzz Aldrin. Good night. Like
Drop the mic.
Yeah,
Nothing will save you.
because really, that's the ending. Like, the ending is fatalism. It is the death of choice and hope. But it is just for capitalist reasons. Like, the Reaper is capitalism, and EA wants more money, so you don't get any narrative fulfillment. I would have loved if it was just, like, narratively and thematically consistent, and the Reapers win because Lovecraft.
Oh man.
And so, way to waste hundreds of hours. Because in the meta commentary of wasting hundreds of hours of your life on your doomed, inevitable mortality, that story would stick with me more than just anger me than it did. So that's how I say.
And then we'd just be talking about like a quality game narrative, like play balance experience.
an
And who the fuck
interesting,
wants
an
to talk
interesting
about
narrative
that?
choice.
Which
Rather.
is Payday 2, I'd get away at the end and like kill cops. What else matter?
It's like, okay, we're gonna rob the Reaper.
Guys, the afterlife, go get it. Yeah.
The thermal drill would cut through a Reaper.
I know one headcanon I have is that the Bioshock and Bioshock 2 are clearly the results of like the Deep One seeing people set up this underwater station. It's like, we gotta fuck with these assholes. We're not gonna attack them, that's too easy. Here, we'll just give them some
That was like the best algae park, and they just paved over it.
Yeah, they just
Fucking
paved over.
humans.
We'll just give them some of our biotech and we'll see how they fuck themselves over.
No, wait, new headcanon just now. After Rapture fucks up and fails at the bottom of the ocean, like the survivors continue to mutate into fucked up things, and reaching back to old video games, those are the aliens that you fight in Terror from the Deep.
But
They're
the
not
game-
actually
the game you cannot-
aliens.
the game
like
you- the game you
XCOM 2
cannot beat-
They're just
motherfuckers.
Randians.
They're just fucked up mutant
I'm
and
so
ran
glad I
people.
beat that game.
Someone beat that game?
I beat it.
didn't. Oh,
I mean, I
God.
beat XCOM, the original one, but
That's-
I beat too.
but Terror from the Deep, like
That is
No, I actually
my if I had brought my hat, it would be off to you, sir, because those games just totally fucked
they
me.
are-
I love them.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah.
god damn.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, in both games, you get to a certain point where you can start making sustainable money. Like in XCOM 1, you build laser rifles, and once
Oh, yeah.
you build enough
Fuck
lasers.
plasma weapons.
Like,
Lasers all day.
What I love about it, there's on GameFAQs, there's like a 50,000 word thesis on the economics of XCOM, and people break down like what is the most efficient thing to build, because you can't rely on nations to give you money. Just build shit and sell it. Build lots of laser
become
rifles.
XCOM Incorporated.
Here's your
Because
formula.
the solution to everything
Yeah.
is commercialize it.
Yeah, no, that's it. You just
Private
crank
jobs.
out thousands of laser rifles and
Economics.
sell them on the
God, I would love to see like what happens to that world.
Yeah.
Like the regular world outside of fighting secret aliens, just suddenly there's an influx of laser rifles into the economy.
I always wondered what some of the other
Well, you know, as a
corporations
matter
were
of
doing with
fact,
some of
now
the
that
shit
you
you sell
mentioned the
now.
fact
Oh,
Most of my
commercialize.
headcanons are economic based. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
Like-
Smog caused the rise of Sauron by quantitative easing.
Yeah.
It's the economic collapse brought on by Smog's horde that actually leads Sauron to come into power. Because the misery brought about by the total collapse of the Middle Earth currency, by the re-influx of trillions of
God.
somehow gold currency that's still accepted everywhere.
I drove hours for this.
Yeah, it did. So
Aren't you glad?
Smog brought Sauron into being.
Just
through
wait.
economic
Just
depression, like World War One brought
Oh, you
World War
got
Two.
yours. Is...
I've got a headcanon that'll just make everyone cry.
Oh, yeah, let's hear it. Give me.
Well,
I'm going to regret this.
you are 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh God.
Is actually a well-crafted allegory that is actually the Occupy movement manifesto.
Oh.
Bam!
No, there's no bam. You have to explain that. That
Christian
doesn't-
Grey is the 1% that has convinced a normal person
Oh God.
to accept his terms of endearment, as it were.
I don't think it's endearment that they're doing. I didn't read the rest of that book.
Terms of
but-
How does it end? Does it end up with him like how does the relationship end up in 50 Shades of Grey?
Oh, well,
Spank 2, spank harder.
oh.
Like I heard something along the lines that at the end he like stops being an asshole
Exactly.
and like does it, and they turn into a normal relationship.
Wait, did they just go to vanilla sex after they turned into?
I don't know.
Because
Like,
is it just that like, oh, BDSM people are all clearly abusive monsters?
That's my headcanon. 50 Shades of Grey, they get married, everything just fucking stops. It's just missionary once a month. They have a day set aside for it. She's like reading during it. It's just sad, and Christian Grey gets fat. It's just depressing.
Oh God.
Is how you want to subvert
Which is
the
basically what
1%.
happened to the Occupy Wall Street movement.
Exactly.
Going back to Dan's point.
wow.
Yeah.
Domesticate them. All right, I
I
see.
didn't sell out,
God.
son. I bought in.
If you're a good enough worker bee, you will redeem the evil capitalist boss.
Exactly.
Wow, that's
And then you'll move into a house from the 50s, apparently, and have regular, you know.
I really like the unwritten thesis of Harry Potter. That's good
Yeah.
canon.
Oh.
Basically bases that entire comic is that J.K. Rowling is Voldemort And each novel is a Horcrux because she takes a character you really enjoy and love and kills it. So in building that person in your mind and then murdering it, she has preserved her soul in 7 pieces across all of time.
Oh my god.
Which is basically the thesis of Unwritten, because the palette swapped Harry Potter. It is collective unconscious magic that he has used to make himself function.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And create himself to become a god.
Unwritten is the Vertigo comic.
Yeah, and it's basically the Unwritten
That
is
sounds
basically just
It is.
that entire fan theory played out to its logical conclusion, and it's badass. So
It is.
that's the kind of meta shit that gets my English grad school blood pumping. That's good. That's good up at
We have healthy relationships with narrative is what we have.
Totally.
I also
We
have
have fucking 50 Shades of Grey relationships with narrative is what we have.
See, that blows whatever headcanon I had out of the water. I was just thinking about how the gay agenda is to make the entire alphabet more fabulous as time goes by.
Really?
Well, yeah, follow me on this one.
Yes.
The acronym used to be LGBT.
Oh yeah.
Lesbian, gay, bi, trans. And we found out recently, and when I say we, I mean me and a couple of my
The mauve hand.
yeah, the other members of the mob have found out that the letters
They
Q
rule
and
with
A-
a fabulous grip.
the letters Q and A have joined the fabulous.
Fastidious.
Oh yeah, LGBTQA.
A well manicured grip. Sorry.
Yes, but depending on who you ask, and I think it also depends on context, the Q and the A either mean questioning or queer, depending on whether you really don't know yet because you're still too young to have kind of settled in, or I know I'm just a little bit different. And then the A is either allied for people who take the same side as us. You know, we want to be on the right side of history,
Yeah.
clearly, or A for asexual. And then this morning I noticed that we have apparently bought the vowel from Vanna White. We now have the I for intersex.
Oh. Man,
So-
we're running out of letters.
I think, yeah, that's what I'm getting at. I think that the new gay agenda is, all right, we are going to make the alphabet more fabulous, one letter at a time, until all the alphabets are marshmallow.
Until the entire sexual spectrum is just
So are you-
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
No, the gay agenda is actually trying to reorganize the alphabet. Haven't you? Don't
Oh,
you see?
okay.
Once we've claimed it all,
LGBTEFG.
Wow.
Well, they have to keep the tune.
I don't know if that's a
Everyone be
headcanon
queer
or a
with me.
conspiracy theory, but I mean, either way, it's fine. I just.
I have a feeling this is going to show up at Fox News in like 2
Oh, that'd be the best.
Just
This
cycle through the internet.
There's gonna be another chain email forward. The
Yeah.
next step of New World Order. The alphabets.
don't let them gain another letter.
Oh,
Don't let them
yay.
gain another letter. I'm just gonna be like, you fur against the alphabet. We don't like letters around here. We just
And then
use
suddenly, if you're
scrawlers.
reading, you're gay and one of us.
Yeah. What about X?
Yeah.
There's not nearly enough wine in that box.
But we're going to give it our best.
Boy, howdy.
Yes.
Oh, no, I got one. My favorite headcanon in regard to things that I wish Aaron were here to hear so that he would cry is, wow, I love Aaron. He's a great guy. But no,
but you
because
want
it's a
to cry.
Time Lord thing. Because I like to imagine that the great race of Yith are what Time Lords become when they eventually
Yep.
merge with their TARDISes
Yeah.
and just reveal the horrible space monster fuckery that they have always been and just start occupying the brains of other races as they bounce around through time.
I think Doctor Who is Nyarlathotep, and that he's driving all of his companions and everyone he encounters with either insane or killing them, or cursing them to fates worse than death as they live as sentient pavement slabs. Which legit happened in one fucking episode.
That wasn't even someone he knew.
Yeah, that was just a person
somebody
that he encountered, in passing.
Yeah.
David Tennant's in 2 minutes of that fucking episode, and that person's cursed to a life of living hell.
directly implied pavement blowjobs.
And then he falls in love with
Speaking of
his
absent Aaron in Time Lords, I
Oh,
do have to
okay.
point out his own headcanon. He rather likes the theory that Willy Wonka is actually just a final iteration of the Doctor.
Oh, hell, Gene Wilder, Willy Wonka. Like,
Gene
the
Wilder.
real
Child
ones.
murderer.
The
in other
real
words.
ones.
The child murderer Willy Wonka, not the.
I like the Tumblr one. Willy Wonka's just like the guy from Saw, looking for someone to take on his murderous rampage, and so he picks the kid without parents from a bad home with
Is this a
little
thing?
family relationships.
Can someone send me a link to this right now?
Yeah.
Well,
It's totally a thing.
speaking of that, I
know,
love the headcanon of
yours
the
and my
Home Alone
parents-
kid grew up to become Jigsaw from Saw.
Oh.
Have you
Yeah.
seen that one? That's
Yeah.
that's it makes a good case that
That's a good one. Yeah,
So-
but the Wonka one's good because if you think of all the kids he picked, they're all uniformly bastards.
Yeah.
Like cold, monstrous, like creepy oral fixation gluttons, like horrible sociopathic little girl. But the one he picks is the
Don't
damaged one
care
who he can
how I
mold
want to
into his Wonka-esque vision of hell.
Well, because the other ones were all molded by other people. They were like tiny little shitty reflections of their parents.
They were evil, which he needs, but they weren't his brand of evil. And he
So
went
took
for
the
Charlie.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
he brought
It's
the blank slate.
and the whole golden ticket thing is a fucking indoctrination process
Yeah.
to help show Charlie how people are so awful and deserve punishment.
Oh.
That is
Wow.
But they should all. But they should
And all the
be
what?
evil
And the
kids.
final test after seeing that all people are fucking shitheads and you don't get anything, he still doesn't betray Wonka, and so he's like, I got it.
Don't tell the cops.
Yeah, give me that gobstopper.
It's our
Come
little
on
secret,
in.
Charlie.
Let's shut the door.
It's the mafia.
No more
You can suck it forever and it never gets smaller.
It's like
Oh, Thad, you took it to a dirty place. We were just going more creepy murder hobo.
no more
And
secrets.
you put a dash of the pedo bear on top of it.
I'm
a
sorry.
dash? That's a dollop.
I've been on the internet too long.
Sexual harassment. Panda.
All right,
Wow. I think we need to cleanse ourselves with some riffs at this point.
No.
Oh, can we?
Frozen
Yeah.
player character is going to come kill Elsa like 2 minutes after.
Hey,
Because Frozen ends, things unfreeze after they've been frozen for weeks. They don't magically regenerate. The
Yeah,
snow
like,
just goes away.
the crops are
are
dead.
wiped out. Everyone in that fucking kingdom is going to starve to death.
Anyone who is standing on the frozen ice over a lake or
Yeah.
some shit, just
plummets to their death. And then Ilsa's like happy reunion with her sister isn't going to last long once the revolution starts because people start fucking dead. So Ilsa, who can summon fucking ice monsters whenever she gets slightly stressed out, is just a fucking ice witch. Like, it's only a matter of time for some level 10s are like, no, this bitch is done. Ice golems are good. And they just raid that motherfucking castle.
oh.
So the sequel to Frozen is the most badass D&D movie ever made.
I think I need to make that into a league game.
Hell yeah.
Oh, is that dessert wine?
Yes, it is.
I'm gonna get me some.
That's another economic.
Yeah. Economics is the root of all.
So what? The
Yeah.
League of Extraordinary Princesses?
Oh my God! Everyone has
Isn't
to play
that just what
Disney-
how Disney markets it now? That's not headcanon.
Wait
That's
a
just their
minute.
advertising.
If
gimmick.
we all get to
No, no.
play a Disney princess,
Yeah.
dibs on 4. I called it.
Fuck.
And then there's
Dibs on
there's the Jerry Lewis theory. Which
Can I have
to
dibs on
believe is
Star Lord?
true.
He's Disney
the
royalty.
Patton Oswalt.
No,
Yeah,
no,
the
no.
Patton Oswalt
Aw.
Jerry Lewis theory, which I have to believe is true because it's like the funniest thing I've
Wait, what? What's this?
So Patton Oswalt in Silver Screen Fiend, his latest memoir, talks about how he used to do these readings with all these like amazing, like Dave Foley and all these amazing
Fuck.
stand-up comics of this script that Jerry Lewis had produced and partially rewrote himself to add more slapstick, called "The Day the Clowns Cried," about a clown in Auschwitz who is
God.
allowed to survive because the Nazis use him to entertain the children and keep them, from
Placid.
freaking out on the way to the gas chamber. So the movie's Jerry Lewis doing stand-up shtick in front of a fucking Holocaust movie that's like 2.5 hours long, and it's rumored to be the worst thing ever put on film. So they did a table read of it every night as just stand-up comedy. They didn't even do jokes. They would just literally read the script aloud in front of audiences.
Speaking of which, whatever happened to that Riffs movie script?
We read from it. Like it's
on video.
Yeah, yeah.
I know.
There's
I was there.
evidence.
But
So
that's it.
he tells the story, it sells out,
Yeah, yeah.
and then he gets a cease and desist order because this guy bought the rights to the script to remake it
No.
with Chevy Chase. And so they had it canceled one time. they had to cancel one time because they had a cease and desist order. And then you jump forward in the memoir like 5 years later. Patton Oswalt's doing a fundraiser for Jerry's kids. And the rumor has it among cinephiles is that the only existing copy of The Day the Clowns Cried is kept with Jerry Lewis at all times in a briefcase so no one else can possibly steal it from him and release his shame upon the world. And Patton Oswalt was there auditioning for Jerry Lewis in the fundraiser thing, and Jerry Lewis had in front of him a briefcase. So the entire chapter is Patton Oswalt thinking like, what if I just grabbed it? Like, what if I just grabbed it and got to a film transfer studio, made it to VHS? I'd be fired. I'd never work again.
Kick him in the junk and run.
Yeah,
Kick him in the crotch.
He's just imagining just like Patton Oswalt parkour through the streets of New York with this briefcase with Jerry Lewis's bodyguards hunting him through the streets.
No, that has to be the kill explosion. That is a kill explosion.
Yeah, and that's
thing,
my headcanon.
Oh my god.
That magic film is locked in that briefcase, and again in the unknown.
No, that's what's in the briefcase in Pulp Fiction. That's
Yes,
what
the
it is.
Day of Contract. In my Unknown Armies campaign, that is Pandora's box. The briefcase holding the Dead Clown's Cried. If you open it, the world is destroyed.
Any
And that
MacGuffin
is-
that you never directly see is the day the clowns cry.
Yeah, and that's what you have to say.
Wow.
Give Jerry Lewis back his terrible.
It hurts so much.
Nice.
I'm not selling the story well. It's like the most brilliant 2 chapters I've ever read.
No,
Oh
I-
god.
we're
Well,
gonna
it's
have to
Patton
listen-
Oswalt. It's
Yeah.
gonna be gold.
Yeah, we'll have to listen to that on the way to James Con. But yeah, you're first. I think we talked about it before on the podcast at some point. But yeah,
something like that.
yeah, no, it's worth mentioning.
Has anybody seen Renaissance Man?
No.
Is
Yes.
that the? What are the actors in that movie?
It's got young Marky Mark in it. It's got
Danny DeVito
Danny DeVito
as the teacher.
as a teacher of Army
Oh yes, I've seen this.
recruits.
Oh,
that
I've
are
heard it. I
going
haven't
out for
seen it,
Army
yeah.
recruits, and he teaches them to be soldiers by teaching them to read Hamlet. So Sarah makes me watch this because it's like her favorite movie ever, and she likes to troll me.
That's
Hamlet-
love right there.
And Hamlet's like one of my favorite things to teach ever. And like at
King
no
Lear, man.
point in the
It's always King
film,
Lear.
at no point in the film do they ever bring up how Hamlet, in any way, shape, or form, helps these guys be soldiers. There's no mention of tactics. There's no mention of reading other things like weapons manuals, or they just recite fucking Hamlet while running up and down through. So in my headcanon for Renaissance Man, in the scene after the credits, they're all in war reciting Hamlet, and they just get fucking mowed down. They just get massacred in the Tarantino-ist, bloodiest
What they don't
shootout
tell
ever
you.
seen. And then there's like 3 minutes of silence, just staring at their corpses at the camera, and then
And
it
then
just cuts
Gregory
to black.
Hines. Well,
And
no,
that's my Renaissance Man.
no,
Oh.
you need Gregory Hines walking away from it with the other survivors. Just now,
No.
what did we learn, people?
like
you
Mama's
need to do-
mama, she's
Gregory
a
Hines is
queen.
in it.
What you need to do is you need to go back through and watch that movie and see if these recruits are actually being trained to join Operation Human Shield.
That's like the most. That's worse than the Karate Kid. At least his bullshit, like waxing motions, vaguely resembled karate. But what the fuck is in Hamlet?
I kind of want to see Renaissance Man now.
Mixing up. How does mixing up who Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are help you to kill?
Yeah.
I don't.
They never explain it. It's never been. It's just like assumed that they know Hamlet now. So
They'll be fine.
Operation Iraqi Freedom, go.
So why don't you like hand
Oh,
wring
wait.
over whether your
I know
uncle
my
murdered your
headcanon
father?
is they're in a universe that works like Skyrim. You level up anything, you get a new level. So you get
Oh
more
no,
hit
they're just
points.
working off classic experience points. You
Get
can
new-
spend
yeah.
them on anything.
That's why Marky Mark's jumps everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't happen. It should though. Headcanon.
Is this just gonna be you say that after every sentence from now on?
Steve Rogers' American Captain takes
Yeah.
place simultaneously with the entire.
For those of
Marvel
you,
universe. That's the best web
Oh,
fucking comic ever.
Yeah.
it's a webcomic.
Just
of his,
every scene
it's just
he's
him
in,
dealing with.
it's written.
It's just ennui is that the word for that comic.
The premise of the
It's-
comic is that you're reading what Steve Rogers actually draws in between his adventures, like his own
Because people
personal-
forget that like Steve Rogers
He's
was
an
a
artist.
fucking artist.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, he went
that's-
to art school.
He went to art school.
and so it's all about like him dealing with.
the 21st century.
Yeah, he only
and
really gets along with
post-traumatic
Thor
stress.
because
Yeah.
Thor doesn't know what the fuck's going on there.
It's so God, it's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
It's got really good dialogue. He
It's
has
like heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. Oh God.
yeah.
It's,
I mean,
it's like Hark a Vagrant. It's just that weird.
Yeah.
Just
I
literary
love
snob
Winter
sad
Soldier
humor.
like unabashedly. It's probably my favorite Marvel film.
Okay.
But I really hope the third Captain America.
Aren't
film
those guys taking
It's just
over
like
the-
just a sad
Oh,
day
God,
in the
yeah.
life of Captain America.
Aren't the guys who directed Winter Soldier going to be taking over for like the Avengers War movie or whatever? The
Yeah, I think they're
two-parter?
doing Civil War.
Yeah, because they take over after Whedon leaves, I think.
Yeah, they're doing Civil War.
Mm.
So
Ooh.
Thank you, Marvel. Good night.
Headcanon.
Yay!
DC is terrible. Oh wait, that's actually true.
Everything is terrible.
No. Headcanon, Slenderman, Peter Pan, same person.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, no, it's just the avatar
the
changes.
kids see Peter Pan, but the adults see.
Yeah, exactly. It changes its form to be more interesting to new.
What do you think the
victims.
lost? Should the lost?
Like it was
boys
first the
are?
Pied Piper, and then
Yeah,
it's
he's
Peter
been around
Cove.
for years.
Candle Cove.
Cove. Yeah.
Go.
Just
Just take away the children who need to be taken away from the
To
wrong
Neverland.
parents.
Yeah, and Bill and I actually talked about this to an extent, that actually maybe they might be different entities that are just kind of alternate personalities of the same major entity.
no, they just exist.
So
as-
they're just more faces in Ireland.
Exactly. I was just gonna say that.
So where
everything goes back to I love the Dip.
So where Peter Pan is more of the, I'm going to take away the children that didn't have a childhood and give them an eternal childhood to make up for it. And then when they come back, they're fucking feral children. Because I don't know what I'm doing. As opposed to the Slender Man that I'm going to take bad or disadvantaged children and they think they've learned from the School of Hard Knocks, but they haven't seen anything yet. And then release them back into the street as crackheads and meth dealers.
It's
who
a
wear
hard
masks
knock
and
life.
release weird YouTube
Well, at
videos.
least that has more of makes more sense.
Thanks,
than
Macaulay
Marble
Culkin.
Hornets.
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Have you read? Do you guys know the Thing gasoline theory? You guys read that one
What's
before?
this?
So the ending of Thing.
Yeah,
obviously. That's from
The John Carpenter.
The greatest. The
So
well,
yeah, so
they're
the
still
Thing
good.
gasoline theory is that McCready,
Yeah.
right after the credits end, kills Keith David's character.
Oh, is this there's like a YouTube video? Is this the whole long like?
yeah, it really explains it pretty well. So
Super
the
good.
idea is that they share the bottle, right?
Yeah.
But what bottle is there to drink? Because Wilford Brimley drinks the shit out of everything, and it's an Antarctic station. It's not like they got a brewery next door. He drinks everything he can find. So earlier in the film, they build Molotov cocktails. So at the end of the film, the theory is McCready took one of the wads out of the Molotov keg and gives it to Keith David. And Keith David's like, "Thanks, buddy." And he's just drinking pure gasoline.
But he doesn't
But he's the
know.
fucking Thing, and he doesn't know.
Fuck.
So at the end of the film, the theory is that McCready fucking knows it's Keith David now and fucking aces him at the end of the credits.
No, I haven't. I haven't heard
which
that
is
one.
which is great headcanon.
No, my favorite one.
I love that one.
My favorite one with the Thing is there's this like long YouTube like theory thing that I saw once about a thing about the Thing that was God. I've seen a lot of good shit about the Thing this year, but it references back to like the first scene where you see McCready and he's playing like 80s computer chess, and he gets pissed because he loses and he says "cheating bitch" and he pours his drink into the computer. Like he gives the computer a drink and like thereby killing it, which actually ties into that because it's like. The Thing has cheated and essentially won the game, so he's
Oh, so that's the
breaking it by giving
foreshadowing.
it the fucking.
All right, yeah.
That's not.
Okay,
I like how those two mesh together.
Yeah.
No, that one's crazy. That
Well, the
one
other
kinda
great
convinces
one-
me.
I like it.
There's a short story that somebody wrote that is super fucked. I can't remember the title.
Is
of
it the one where it's from the Thing?
Yeah, it's from the Thing's perspective.
Yeah.
And it's like complete inability to understand that
It's like, why
creatures
won't
on
you
Earth.
let me join with you?
Yeah, the creatures on Earth have separate independent consciousnesses, and it's slowly like because it's like trying to merge with our distributed consciousness that's
Yeah.
through all of our individual cells, like all consciousness is.
Yeah.
And it's like it just finds these empty husks, and it's like freaking out. And when they're getting ready to do the blood test, like the Thing isn't afraid because it assumes everybody's blood will react the way that its blood will. So it's just like when that happens, when it sees a hot wire go into somebody else's blood, it's just like. Whoa!
It doesn't freak out. What's wrong with your guys' blood?
Basically,
So
yes,
they're all
the Thing
freaking
is-
out, but for different reasons.
Yeah.
The Thing's freaked out, nothing's happening.
And when it freaks out, it turns into a spider upside down head monster,
Yeah.
like you do.
Like you do. Yeah.
Like,
And also belly teeth.
Yeah.
Belly teeth.
Good old belly teeth.
I still haven't seen
High school
the,
skull band name right there.
I still haven't seen the prequel
Don't.
thing.
Fucking don't.
It's not that bad.
It's not
Well,
that big.
it's CG.
I
It looks
mean,
terrible.
I do have a Tom Church-esque love for the Thing.
They do
Like,
good
it's-
set decoration, though. They make
Yeah.
the set, like,
Well, that's the stuff they didn't like CG over. Have
Yeah,
you
that's
seen the stuff that they like the practical effects that were actually done for the
Yeah,
movie?
they look
like
great.
They
They're
keep
gorgeous.
axes and all.
Yeah.
Like it's really well.
Like
They,
the-
no, they,
But then they put
paid attention
CG
to the
over it.
continuity.
No, dude, like
Yeah,
the Alien
a lot.
pilot, there's footage online of like what that was supposed to be. It's fucking gorgeous. Like it's
Yeah.
weird. It's got eyes that blink and all sorts of.
So yeah, that's good. That's good headcanon.
Sorry,
Yeah.
yeah.
Unlike like Indiana Jones died in that fridge. The movie's just a hallucination of a man who died a noble death fighting Nazis.
Yeah.
And we can end it and call it a day. And never have to have Shia LaBeouf for Christmas
Shia
call.
LaBeouf.
Anything easy.
Shia LaBeouf.
The
Yeah.
beef.
Or not beef.
Shyla Stutter.
Yeah, but I mean, enough of that. We should get back to the
Riffs.
Yeah.
All right, see you guys.
Well,
Well, I was thinking one of the things I'd like to talk about is, of
Yeah,
course,
why don't you do that,
the
Ross?
riffs elements of it because they have
Because
all
everything
this-
is riffs, Caleb. You never get
actually,
away
no.
from
You know, when you make a shit sandwich, you typically put the shit in the middle, not on both sides.
Yeah.
So I question the organization of this podcast.
This
Yeah.
is not a
well,
writing
there's gonna
workshop.
be more
This
headcanon
is-
coming later.
Actually, first I do want to mention that someone else brought up the looking. I kind of skimmed over the legend
Palladium
of the
Fantasy.
the legend of the 13 Orcish lords. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Officers
13
of-
Orcish tribes. Yes.
No, it says 13 Orcish lords.
There are lots of 13.
There's
things
a
in
lot
this
of
book.
Orcish stuff in here,
It's
but
almost as if it's volume 13.
Yeah.
And
Ah,
13 is
that's
a
true.
significant number.
And it's almost as if Palladium is fine with confusingly nesting things with similar names.
they have so many lists of things for orcs, including
NCC, number 2.
they have an Orcish vocabulary section. And-
What?
yes.
I
So
missed that.
Yes. the war-
Shuma Tuncha is might is right. Ras, R-A-S, is war.
No, it's
X-
still Ross.
It's
You
Ross.
are war. You are the Orcish. Ross Payton is the Orcish manifestation of war.
Jumani is to
war to
honor.
orcs.
June is
Although I
honor.
do love pun, Ross,
Yeah.
is the way that you say fealty.
Literally
so if you do
war
a
sign.
Ross pun, you're swearing fealty to Ross.
So what if we make a pun about Ross being war? Like we start meta stacking this? What does that do?
We have to go deeper.
You break the wing.
we must go deeper.
Ross means war for orcs, Caleb. You missed
They
it.
also have the 13
I already
clans
knew
of the orcs, and I'll just read their names. So
Yes,
there's the High
do
Fist
that.
clan, the Dorn Riders clan, the Blazing Hammer, the clan of the Dark Circle, the clan
Blazing
of the
Hammer.
Red
The
Blade,
clan.
the Dripping Fang clan, which I think they were
Are you
East
making
Coast
some of
rap
these up?
group. Yeah.
Yeah, this should be a game. Just make up a few as you're listing
Yeah,
these. and
the
see if we
clan
can
of the Jagged Crown. I
the
think
Shrine
they
of the
were-
Silver Monkey.
The Blue Hair Clan,
Which
which
is
I
the
like
old
the
orcs,
most.
the really
Blue
old
Hair
orcs.
Clan.
No.
The clan of the Tunnel
Old
Crawlers.
orcish ladies.
The High Step Clan, my second favorite clan.
We just done got orcs.
Clan of the Flaming Skull. The clan of the Golden Sky.
Clan of the Screaming Skull?
Screaming skull.
It's
No, the
flaming.
Flaming
Thank
Skull.
you. It's flaming.
Clan
not
of the
screaming.
Common Law Wife?
Do you know the law?
You don't have to. You don't have to,
Common law wife.
you don't have to say I do to be married.
And then finally, there's the Raging Bear Clan. I know.
I don't know. Actually, I'm going to use my cryptozoologist to see if that's an actual raging bear or if it's a
I
raging
know when I've got a Raging
horned
Bear, I think Orc Lord.
Okay.
So
Roll. Wait a minute.
it's a D.
Roll this twice.
Right, okay.
There's an
And get
Orcish
under
Knight
30%.
OCC, not an RCC,
I got-
believe it or
I
not.
think I rolled 100.
Oh, you have no idea at that. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
God.
By the way, like if I may briefly bitch about the Hobbit, I think the orcs would be a more better threat if every main character wasn't able to slaughter 100 of them effortlessly.
Yeah.
Except for the
I'm sorry, I
one
think you're
orc that actually had a name.
I think you're forgetting that elves are gorgeous and perfect in every way,
I mean,
apparently.
In their area.
Bilbo was
There should be no-
Bilbo's throwing rocks at them and they're going down.
No, Tom, the orcs have the same
Oh, well, no,
cannon armor that every other people
No.
gets.
Headcanon, guys. It's not even really headcanon. This is Bilbo's novelization of what happened.
Yeah,
So it's like it's great. It actually reminds me.
I threw some rocks. and they
Bilbo
fell
hid in
down.
a ditch for 4 days drinking rat water, and he came out when it was all over.
It reminds me. I don't remember which of the books it's in.
Or you just use the ring to hide.
I don't remember which of the books it's in, but in one of the David Wong's books, either John dies at the end or this book is full of spiders, both of which I recommend super fucking highly.
Oh yeah,
latest article is brilliant.
Oh, I love that man. But there's a character that is described as just being this perfect like action movie Adonis through most of the movie. And in the end,
that is a book full of spiders.
yeah, that was it. And in the end, it's
His
like
awesome Mustang. Like, you have to make me fucking sound cool.
yeah, that's the last thing he says before he leaves the story. It's gold. And that's what Bilbo did. That's what he did in The Hobbit. Is like he made himself kind of dipshitty sometimes, but those battles.
Because people
he still...
wouldn't believe if he went full elf, that wouldn't have worked.
See, I've seen it. I've interpreted the other direction. Is that the reason it's so much darker than the books? Is that
it's actually
he's
what
like
happened?
fucking trying to sell it to Hobbit people.
Yeah,
and he's just
that's
like,
true.
my friend got disemboweled by a fucking creature that burst from underground, and I saw it stank of dead, and like the crows.
Just Bilbo Baggins rocking back and forth. I have seen things you wouldn't believe.
The crows blacked out the sky. Like, it was just
PTSD
full
Bilbo.
PTSD Bilbo. It was like, I don't.
He didn't even have like ring madness. That's just untreated PTSD,
Yeah,
man.
well, it was only getting worse with the ring, and everybody's just like, I don't really like it. Bilbo's like, I need more money. I'm going to tone this down a bit.
There was sunshine.
Because capitalism, it's got to sell. He's got to sell it to the
Economic headcanon.
And Smog was a
Marxist headcanon.
And Smog,
Yeah.
and Smog it was just a hostile takeover of the dwarf company.
Yeah.
But
And then they laid everybody off.
and speaking of dark things, there's in Rifts they have a new class for it.
Dark techno
There's
wizardry.
not just techno wizardry. There's now dark techno.
This
wizardry.
is specifically different than regular
There's
techno
multiple forms.
wizardry.
One is the necrotech.
Can I?
Okay.
Can you, Caleb?
Typeset doesn't even fucking make sense.
Are you
It's
a-
like someone stabbed the O of techno with a hyphen, and wizardry's backing away to get away from the blood splash.
There's a
like, it's not even.
there's a
It's a word
kerning,
processor, man.
there's a kerning issue here, and Caleb
Well,
cannot deal with it.
If you prefer, you can look at the actual picture of the necrotech that was drawn.
I
in.
don't.
Look, come on, Caleb, you're slowing us down. We got to get to the special necrotech powers of necrotech
I
devices.
All they
apologize.
get.
Go back to reading the fucking ransom note that is that book. Cut out from various magazines and pasted to it with spit and blood.
Oh my god. So
Don't
like,
sugarcoat it,
techno
man. Tell us
wizards
how you
and
really
Rifts basically make devices that are fueled by magic that use PPE as fuel.
I'm sorry, PPE?
PPE, potential psychic energy.
Personal psychic.
Magic
Whatever.
juice.
Thank you.
So these, but necrotechs, instead
Ooh.
of using crystals like normal techno wizards, use
God,
body
these-
parts.
These are like guns that are drawn in like the middle school notebook of the kid nobody wants to
That's
sit
the
next
Rift's
to.
aesthetic.
Like,
Oh, wait a minute. No, that's the techno shifter. We're not on the techno shifter yet.
Okay,
They
sorry.
look like guns of destiny.
It does.
Add more shit to the side of it.
Okay.
The greatest thing is my only interaction with that game is hearing you describe it.
Oh god, it's so. I played it for
So,
like 4
for
hours today.
example,
It's
they
terrible.
describe one device that a techno wizard would build would be a wingboard, which would be a board that you would fly on. But a necrotech might have the skeletal remains of gargoyle wings built into the structure, a communication band that may have a battery of sorts with a few deceased human tongues in it. They can
What?
So yeah, they build robot.
Not living human tongues?
Yeah.
They can't keep the tissue alive? Come
Apparently not.
Yeah, just flapping.
So they
Alright,
cunning
no.
linguist. So like they can build bionic hands, using a skeletal hand that is grafted to the body of the recipient. The hand is usually from the same species as the recipient.
Usually.
Although others can be used.
Depending on your
Wires and cables.
HMO, there's a whole
the first
deal.
bionic hand's really easy to install, but the second one.
This is pre-Obamacare, so you had to, there was a lot
Thanks,
of other...
Obama.
Yeah.
I think this is literally taken from Romneycare. Yeah, you can. It has wires and cables, and it's just a super strong.
Yeah, and the
But-
wires and cables are there so that we know that it's not necromancy.
It's techno.
It's necrotech.
It's dark techno wizard.
Dark techno
So
wizardry.
it has to be
Let's
magic
get the-
and technological at the same time.
Dark techno wizardry is what
I was really thinking you were going to be pulling out a
after
flask
night at
there.
Gen Con.
Yeah.
Dark techno wizardry is the post-human after party.
Also, can I just show you the power of Grayskull thing
Yes.
going on here? Just apropos of nothing.
That is the final art in the book. Is a wolf guy who's
Wolf, I
going
think.
super saiyan,
Yeah,
He's
just
just
it's gorgeous.
screaming his head off, and
So his level. So he's at level. So he's,
You know, art direction must be pretty fucking easy. Draw something. I don't know. Put it in there
fit on
8
a
times.
actually, the thing. I mean, artists will just draw pictures of weird creatures.
Dude,
And then like 2 or 3 books later, like, oh, I like that picture. Let's make something out
the
of that.
Q&A, like the only way I can describe the image that's on like page 16, if you need a citation, of the Q&A thing, looks like someone is having a workers' dispute with a tentacle monster. Like, it's, I don't know, it's not
page is that
getting
on?
workman's, like page 16, like, tell me this is not what you see here, but it's like, it's gone, like, over,
Actually,
it's
that's-
not following
Yeah, he's just
overtime.
kind of
Right,
politely
follows it.
wagging his
Is
finger
there a
at
way
the
to
guy.
avoid having to roll for horror factor?
Yeah, because, you know, you work with that tentacle monster, you shouldn't have to roll for horror.
Bob, I told you, make sure we put decaf
Jesus,
in the
man,
orange
this is
pod.
not OSHA compliant. We're gonna catch all kinds of
It's like-
hell for
It's
this.
like, Bob, I told you. It's like, I told you, like, it's like lefty loosey, righty tighty.
Jesus, man, get your
That's the
various
direction it
shits
goes.
and excretions together. Come on.
like no, don't. I know you
Don't
have kids.
take that tone with me.
It's like, I know you have kids.
Speaking of, I did that partly because I wanted to interrupt with my favorite fucking thing that I was complaining about earlier.
Proceed.
I'm sorry, David. This is too perfect.
No, keep
This
going.
this encapsulates because I came to Palladium through when we played
Eliminators.
Eliminators. That
Ross
was
and
my
I
first
started with it.
interaction with this. But this question is: are there any sort of perception rules in Palladium?
Rules for Perception appeared in the Nightbane RPG released by Palladium Books,
So it's in that one book, and what's the rest of that line, David?
but they haven't been printed in any other product.
In that one Palladium book is where you have to go to find out how you see and know through seeing that something is there.
Basic sensory stimuli. Advanced rules.
The game.
It
It is the crucible of pain.
Old Testament here, bitches. So
When you
anyway,
have studied enough, you will learn how to truly see Palladium.
so
Where
the
we're going-
necrotech.
Where we're going.
Yeah, I'm sorry, back to Necrotech.
Back to necrotech. Aside from bionic arms that are made of skeletons,
Which
yeah,
aren't bionic.
they are if you have wires.
I have those now.
Dude, this is
My
wires.
arms are.
You don't have wires and cables, and your
You
hand
need
came
wires
from
and
you.
cables. If you don't have the wires
Yeah, because
and
you
cables,
don't want,
it's
like-
just a skeleton.
You don't want the skeletal structure to be metal while it's being moved around with machines. No, you'd want that to be the weakest part.
Anyways,
of
the
your
ultimate
bioarm.
thing though they can do is make a techno horror. It requires the use of multiple bodies, at least 3, and takes 2 to 8 days to finish. During the building, the necrotech stitches arms, legs, and other limbs from various beings to the body of another. Extra heads may also be added. The result is a mishmash of incongruous parts that vaguely resemble the original body. Wires and cables connect the body parts, and strange machines with unknowable purposes are added for good measure.
Well,
Now,
shouldn't
wait a
we,
minute,
like,
wait a
shouldn't
minute,
we
wait,
know
wait,
this
wait.
as the class?
Did
Like,
Virus come out this year?
Just a half a second on this. The result is a mishmash of incongruous parts that vaguely resemble the originating body. What if, and I'm just supposing here,
spitballing.
what if
This is the art of what a
Headcanon.
techno horror looks like, by the way. A alligator with tentacles.
That's
an
the-
alligator man with tentacles.
what if your dark techno
And he's
wizard
slimy.
actually had a good aesthetic?
Yeah.
I mean, does it have to be an
No,
incongruous
mishmash. Mishmash.
Or could you put it together so it actually had some purpose for being?
No,
Oh God,
no.
Picasso was
Counter-
a dark techno wizard.
Counter argument. What if your normal aesthetic is a mishmash? Will it then, like, to screw with your aesthetic, make you look normal?
Hey man, we like collages.
Like-
I've got 3 arms on the right side of my body. I'm going to make this one.
Often,
I like how they took time to write that it takes 2 to 8 days, as if there is any way that could fucking come up in any kind of game. Like, and so what is happening at Dark Techno Wizard School? Are they like making fun of people? It took him 8 days to make fucking.
Oh,
Techno
God.
horror.
God, yeah, that's.
It
Oh.
took
It's
him
got
8
legs.
days to make the fucking upright tentacle.
No, wait, are those the
Yeah.
out, like...
actually, you know what? I'm really surprised at? That he said 2 to 8 days and not 2D4 because
Yeah.
2D4 is
Should
kind
be
of the
2D4.
Palladium way.
Wait, is that so? I mean, are those the outliers or are those the averages? Because that's different.
It says
what if it takes you?
between-
What if it takes you 10 days?
And at least
well,
3.
then you're.
It says takes 2 to 8 days.
Okay.
So that means
Often
that at
in
We'll never
most-
get into the good techno
8
wizard school
days.
to the same day.
At
Take that
least
dark god
2.
instructions.
All right, often animal and
You're
monster
gonna get
corpses
like
are
ITT
rebuilt
tech
Yeah.
of
with a humanoid head
ITT
or
techno
heads.
wizard.
Maybe they
And
have the A+
several
program.
animals are stitched together to create a chimera-like amalgamation. Likewise, humanoid corpses can be rebuilt with additional heads or limbs. Giant-sized techno-horrors can also be created, but require much larger bodies and an additional 2 days of work. So there's more guidelines there. 2 days to make a giant.
So what if you start out
When did
making a
System
regular
Shock
one,
2 come out?
Yeah,
and you
there's-
realize, oh, wait a minute, it only took me 2 days. I've got 4 days to play with. Fuck it, I'm going to make it a giant.
But cables, wires and cables.
Wings can be added, but each one counts as an arm, and 2 wings are necessary for flight. Flight is provided magically, so the wings are not need to be fully intact. Skeletal wings are
Wait!
possibly jets or hoverplanes can
Pause.
also be added.
Point of order.
Wait! Wings are necessary for flight, but because the flight is powered magically,
Don't you know that wings just generate magical flight when you have 2 of them? Like, you run them together.
Have you thought
and
about it's for maneuvering purposes? Have you
Guys,
thought about that?
Back it up half
Lift
a
is
sentence.
provided
And
by
don't
the-
forget that the cursed will only be able to see that you're flying, not that you can fly.
And the appearance of this
Oh,
is going to
God.
be a drive episode.
is it bad that this is making My Little Pony flight
I
make
want
more
to play the
sense
fucking
now?
curse game because
I so do.
It sounds like a goddamn existential crisis.
The curse game is basically being in grad school too long
Yeah,
and
it's
starting
like
to apply theory
Just
to everything.
divorcing sins
Okay.
and simulacrum.
But
Like, you
guys-
don't know what's happening.
Back it up half a sentence, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wings may be added to the techno horror too, but each counts as an arm.
Yeah. And you can only have up to 4 arms.
I'm surprised
Yeah.
it's not. I'm surprised it's 1d4.
The maximum number of heads, arms, and tails.
Oh,
in techno
plus
horror
1 every other
mechanics.
level of experience. So you start at 4 limbs.
Why? Wait, okay. Why are they telling me the maximum number of limbs and arms I can have?
Because it's the more arms you have, the more attacks per melee your creature has.
Yeah, that says it a little bit
So
down
in
here.
like
So the
fucking-
better you are at
so
guns.
Wait,
But what if you're not a boxer?
Yeah.
So you could get you could eventually
Wait.
like 19
Attacks per
so
melee
in
are-
rounds,
There's
Yeah.
no way
you
this
can
is
do
Palladium.
2 attacks per arm.
Attacks per melee are equal to the combined number of arms, heads, and tails of the
And with wait, heads count?
So they're just all working at the same time.
What are you standing on?
Like, is how Palladium characters punch just like throwing their arms
get
out all
one-
the time,
yeah, but no, you just get 1 per bang.
different directions.
Okay, so I get 3 attacks within 15 seconds. I've got 3 arms on this side. Punch, second punch, third punch. Just each arm going down.
Yeah, exactly. That makes sense.
I only punch once
Doesn't
with each hand.
Ross? Doesn't
but
really.
Seriously, I just need like gifs of Caleb's face reacting to shit. That would
God, that doesn't even fucking make sense. Like 15 seconds.
Yeah.
What boxer throws 2 punches per 15?
No, the
fucking
boxer gets
seconds?
at least 3. Everyone starts with 2.
What
But a
boxer
boxer
throws
gets
3 punches in 15 seconds? You get your fucking face bashed in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can punch again. 1, 2,
All right.
3.
Well, if you use a lot of drugs.
5. I'm dead now.
All right, if you use a lot of drugs, you can attack up to 6 times.
It's called a
37.
jab, Palladium.
Anyway,
Jesus.
405.
range of control of the horror is equal to 100 feet per level of experience, but the horror can venture beyond if so commanded by its master. After completing its task, it will then return to the mage for further instructions. And then it takes 600, between 300 and 600 PPE to create one. And the average person only has like
What's
40.
PPE again?
Personal psychic energy.
Yeah.
magic juice.
I think-
Personal psychic?
I think it's potential.
It's at one point.
So
it
I can
was
have like a million
personal.
PPE and just not be psychic at all because I didn't apply
No, if you have that
myself?
much, you're basically a god.
Yeah, I'm psychic enough already, man.
No,
I got other shit to do.
No, PPE is for magic, not for
You're making
psychic
it up.
powers. This
Yeah, it's all magic, Caleb. Jesus, why would you think otherwise?
inner strength points for psychic powers.
ISP is psychic juice. PPE is magic juice. Even though one of the P's in the PPE stands for psychic, it's really not psychic juice. It's
Actually,
magic
speaking
juice.
of the insane number scale, there was another thing in the queue.
Can you imagine how
Q&A?
good you'd be at something if all of the brain space you have dedicated towards memorizing Palladium shit was used for literally any other purpose?
Yeah, it takes what 10? What's the number? Like 10,000 hours to learn to be
Yeah,
an expert at
yeah,
something?
Malcolm Gladwell, you've mastered this.
Yeah,
That's the Mass Effect
These are all
right
hours
there.
you don't get
Yeah,
back.
these are the hours that are
Look,
gone.
we start. This is
As
what
you
Ross.
crawl inexorably towards
Yeah, this
death.
is what started Ross on the way to building the empire before you, though.
Yeah, it's the game we both started with.
And you got to realize that from this, came that flag.
Yeah. Us all. What's the? Is there? Do we have a salute? Is it this?
Probably next year.
Like flipping myself off? Is that the RPPR salute?
We did attract vassals as we carried it across Gen Con last year.
It's pretty amazing.
God.
Cosplayers just fell in line.
Yeah.
Like, there's a
Really?
banner.
You guys accidentally started a cult?
Apparently.
There's like there's a
Exalted
banner marching
March.
through Gen Con.
Well, the already existing
Ballroom
online,
F.
the already existing listener cult is going to be jealous.
I know, right?
That's
No,
No, those listeners have
Those
never
are our
completely
true
fine.
But I really do
Oh,
need
okay.
to get over the other attributes of the giant of these techno horrors.
Oh, good. There's fucking more.
Yeah, no, their physical attributes are based on the number of limbs that they have. Additional legs make them faster. For example,
Does it make them
additional
fly
arm-
faster
yeah.
too? Because
Throw
walking
a leg
just
on
comes
there.
magically from legs, I assume.
If it has 3 legs, it's 10% faster as opposed to 2.
Yeah, that's I call bullshit on that because I've seen a centipede. Those things aren't that fast.
Well, they're not techno horrors.
They actually centipedes make me very fast.
Let's see. They have so much MDC based on how big they are and how many spare parts and
Now,
how
what
many
is that
limbs they have.
acronym for again for the uninitiated, Ross?
Mega damage capacity.
Yes.
Okay.
Is there a page just of acronyms?
No, because I was reading this
There's-
not knowing any
Oh
of
my
the
gosh,
fucking
no fucking
acronyms.
reference.
No, at one point, if you actually find the Riffs errata page,
Yeah.
it is insanely huge.
It has an IQ of
page?
8, which means it has an IQ of 80, actually. So
I was really
it's
worried because you
forced
started to
talk.
say rifts errata, and then I was like, please let this not go where I'm afraid it's going to
You were
go.
thinking it was going to
It is
be
impervious to
erotica?
Yeah,
fear,
Riffs
drugs,
erotica?
poisons,
No.
and any magic or science that can only affect a living body. It has
Swim
skills,
tentacle point.
including
No,
climb.
it's Riffs. It'd be like 50,000 shades of
65%. So, and swim at 50%. Tails and tentacles add a bonus of 5% to either skill.
Why would you need that?
I think we broke Caleb.
Oh my god.
Flippers add 20% to swim if you gave it flippers, but impose a penalty of 5% to the or 5 to the speed attribute on land, and then can be held at bay by the banishment spell. And silver and fire inflict mega damage on it. So, and then it costs between
So
5.
I had flippers on my. Can I negate my speed bonus by adding more legs
Yes!
with flippers?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, I was actually.
But you
So
don't
it's
want to add too
amphibious.
many of those because then it won't be.
So it's
able
like a
to
Loch
attack.
Ness thing with legs on it. So it has 2 modes. It can,
It's a transformer?
it's
gets
swimming
to
up
the
top,
shore
party
and flips
below.
Okay, speaking of mega damage, this is the thing that disappointed me most in this book.
Sure.
Was back to the Q&A, which, God, there's a gold mine here. But one of the questions is,
Some definitions of gold mine.
what if my character is hit by a
Place people
mega...
often die.
What if my character is hit by a mega damage weapon and he is only SDC, which I vaguely remember being like normal people
Yes.
Yeah.
thing.
1 point of mega damage is equal to 100 SDC points, and a normal person has like 20 or so SDC and 10 hit points.
So like their question is, what happens if you shoot a normal person with a mega damage weapon? And the response that they gave was, rules for surviving hits from mega damage weapons can be found in Coalition War Campaign. But I really wanted the response to just be,
Dead.
nope, jibbed. Just, no, because no. What do you survive as?
Exactly.
Well,
the
here's the
thing is,
thing.
there are mega damage weapons that are just dinky little laser pistols that shoot.
Like
just
one-
Is it the
little-
noisy cricket?
No, I remember the Wilkes laser pistols.
Yeah,
1d4 mega damage.
Stop knowing this.
I know. I'm sorry.
But it looks like a laser tag gun, and it just shoots a little.
Oh, does it look like
I'm so sorry.
like the '90s laser tag gun, like the awesome black one that was in
Yeah,
the Broken
yeah.
Date music video? Like
Yeah.
my favorite laser gun ever.
Yeah, it
You
looks
guys know
like-
how Alzheimer's works, right? It attacks randomly. It's not gonna like go after the rifts because it's the easiest kill. You could be in a nursing home one day just rattling this shit off to no one. That's how you go. That's how you leave
Hey,
this world.
That becomes the only
Talking
thing you
about
know
mega
about
damage.
life.
Yeah.
No, this is my human shield for my brain. I'm just hoping the more useless knowledge I have, the
So
more.
you
The more likely it is
trying to
that
shield your actual memories in the rifts. Maybe the Alzheimer's will get sick.
Exactly.
Doing it
I can hope.
and just leave.
It's a bold strategy.
Fuck
I
this.
know.
I'm moving out. I'm moving out.
bold move. We'll see how it plays out.
But
So what does Alzheimer's look when it leaves your brain?
what I don't get though,
We are
I
gonna
think
find
techno
out.
horror. Okay, so it takes the requirements are corpses, cables, wires, a brain from a sentient creature, and whatever else needs to be added, such as
Pretty much like a shopping list for that nice
You
toy
can
Canon
add
game.
jet engines to this motherfucker, wings and so on, and then
Wings
Wait,
and
hold
so
on.
yeah,
And so
If
Point
wings
order.
are necessary for flight,
yeah.
what happens if you just strap a jet engine onto a wingless horror?
It can run faster.
No, it can fly.
No, it doesn't have wings, Ross.
Wings is
doesn't
what makes
have
flight
wings, it
possible.
cannot.
No, what if it has one wing and a jet engine?
And a flux
No,
capacitor.
it needs
But
two
here's the
wings.
thing:
God.
that apparently costs between 500,000 and 1.5 million credits, which is like the equivalent. You can get a giant fucking robot for that. That's serious money in Rifts. So like, how the fuck? Like, I could get.
There's nothing fucking serious in Rift.
Speaking of which, another one of the Q&A questions. I think I gave my players way too much money in the game. What can I do to redress this without
There's no
seeming
techno words.
unfair or backtracking? And the response is essentially capitalism. You use inflation or you use exchange rates to fuck with them. So once again,
I mean,
capitalism fixes things to be worse.
New headcanon. All of Rifts is the most elaborate performance art installation that has ever been composed. And 20 years from now,
This is the only way you're able to live
we
with
would
it,
all
isn't it?
speak of Kevin Sibiani in hushed tones and walk through quieted
No,
white
last-
galleries.
Whoa.
The layout proofs, the galley proofs of Rift's pages. out
No.
there.
New headcanon. The last Palladium book is 1 page long, and when you open the cover, all it says is the aristocrat.
okay, so I got to move on to something different.
I don't
here.
know. It's just again, you could go to a junkyard today and get all those bodies.
Ross,
like,
you can never roll enough dice to make this
Ross,
deal.
I don't think you can find that many corpses in a junkyard.
It doesn't say what type
Okay,
of corpses.
Dan, you are going
could
to the
get
wrong
dog and rat
junkyard.
corpses and make yourself a techno or all the legs.
Techno rat swarm.
Exactly. And you can put
Actually, that would be a
You
techno
get
rat
another
king
fucking
because they're all
great
like-
band
Techno rat
name.
king!
Techno Rat Swarm is awesome.
Is that
Get
my...
from pigeon wings on it.
Can that be my...
Fly.
Wait, can that be my Gaga character, Techno Rat King?
Yes.
Can we do that?
Yes. Very yes.
Gaga 3.0, whatever it's on.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Okay.
So anyway, sorry, David.
Sorry.
We're not really, but
Oh,
No.
I know we're not.
Okay, sorry,
so
not sorry.
jumping ahead to page 85 here.
Open your hymnals to...
Open your hymnals and sing the song of the 13th
We are doing the
hour.
Talmudic reading of Rifts at this point.
Oh,
We
God.
are the unknown army.
Okay. So I'm just gonna fast forward through this
I'm
part,
clearly
just
the
explain it as
dipsomancer
quick as I
here,
can.
so-
Basically, they put a magic hour in where the entire world is
Oh,
frozen.
the 13th hour.
The 13th hour. So between 11:59 and midnight, there's a secret hour that is only accessible by.
No, it's even more specific. It's between 11:59 and 59 seconds.
Oh yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
it's
stand
it's
corrected.
rips. Come on, we're all about specificity.
and numbers.
And numbers. But yeah, if you were a member of a bloodline of a knight who broke open a magic talisman and drank a bit of it, you enter into this time automatically, or you can do it through magic. But matter within this particular hour is frozen solid. So if it's something solid, even like a curtain, it won't budge. If it's liquid, it doesn't budge. If it is gaseous in some way, you can pass through it, but it'll spring right back to where it is.
It's basically and you exist there for an hour. It's like 13 o'clock for an hour, and everything else in the world is frozen. But it's also all in black and white, so it's basically like you're in a Twilight Zone episode.
Or Sin City.
Yeah, or you suddenly
No, because nobody else can move. How does it, like, they describe it, it's like wherever everyone is in the real world is
That's
still,
where they're
they're
at.
still there, but they can't move. They're frozen in black and white, like, hazy, thick atmosphere,
Is my nose
weird,
bleeding
time
out?
stop bullshit.
Your
Yeah.
ears are.
And
Oh, this is where I started to go insane!
yeah,
I'll tell you about this later.
but what I was gonna get to on that is, and there's demons wandering around, like there would be. I mean,
The children of whoever.
Like you do.
clearly.
Mm.
But I got to this page, 94. The complication, and it's actually subtitles, or techno wizards always screw things up.
Techno wizards ruin everything.
Building the
Everything.
wars, damn
So
kids.
Obama is a techno wizard.
God, thanks, techno wizards.
Thanks,
Yeah, so
Techno
basically,
Obama.
So TW.
Oh, I love the picture. The picture here is great too, because it's. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
oh yeah, the Onco, the company that just decided, hey, we found a way to get in here through magic. we can make this accessible to anybody. Nothing bad's going to happen.
That's right. They find the 13th hour and immediately techno wizard commodify that shit.
Capitalism.
Capitalism. So they start selling
Caleb
shit.
is coughing up organs, just not even human ones. It's really awkward.
So yeah, they start selling shit. Riskate. For 400,000 credits, you can have this little bitty thing that will take you through by yourself. Or there's a hood gate for 500,000 credits, an extra 100,000 that'll turn your car into something that'll drive through the 13th hour. So you
Oh
can
my
just,
god! I didn't realize the picture is of them demoing the human
So
ball.
that's how they upsell.
Yeah, it is.
So that's how they upsell you, like for
Yeah.
Oh, for only 100,000
it's
more.
just you.
Yeah.
But only 1,000 more. You
They also
sell
sell
100,000.
They also sell you a special hat, which is
Oh no,
literally,
they give that away.
Oh, I'm
They
sorry,
just give it away.
If you buy this, it comes with no extra charge.
That's a
Comes
fucking
with what's
fedora.
the it's
It's a
described as
fedora.
a silver fedora with like spangly things hanging off of it that allows you to breathe properly
And
and
you
see.
get transported to MRA Strela.
Look,
the
not
land,
all-
the land of men's rights.
And one of the knights of the 13th hour, I mean, he's literally a neckbeard with a sword.
You know, I was listening to a podcast that's better than this podcast. They were talking about riffs.
Yeah.
And in Freaking Obvious, they were talking about what scientific ideas should we retire
Yeah.
because they're stopping progress. And I'm like, that'd be a good podcast episode for RPPR. What gaming idea should we retire to make? And I realized I would say riffs. Thanks everybody, and we just roll credits and it'd be a 2-second long podcast. And I'm like, maybe that wouldn't be a good idea for a podcast.
Well,
Anyway, can we stop? Can we stop yet?
almost.
Can we?
Almost.
Please?
Almost. I've got one last item that I have to tell you about. The human ball.
The human ball.
As soon
God.
as these techno wizards figured out that there's demons,
These demons. The ones
Yeah.
that are basically knockoff HR Giger monsters.
yeah, the knockoff Geiger
Is
monsters.
that anything like a Gila monster?
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
He's got tiny little arms, too. He's got
He's got arms on
tiny arm
arms.
and
He's
one
got
giant arm.
underarms.
He's got underarm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, they're not symmetrical because one side's got the tiny arm.
It's
on
just
top
bad
and the other's
art,
got
I
the-
think. Yeah. Anyway.
But anyway,
Maybe he's mutated by other dimensional shit. You don't
Someone
know.
just said, draw a monster.
Yeah.
That's the most hottest thing you said about riffs all night. It's not an aesthetic choice. It's just shit.
okay. But anyway, the human ball.
The human ball.
The human ball.
Tell us about the human ball thing.
Ball.
It is a ball made of some sort of alternates rubber
Do not taunt the human ball.
mixed with artificial blood.
The human
Throwing the ball against a hard object, which is literally any substance within the 13th hour, will cause it to bounce for up to an hour. Once it begins to bounce, the ball will release the scent of blood, undetectable by normal senses. But,
Oh,
Wait.
Just wait.
but to the demons, it is an irresistible target, and they will gladly hunt after it, believing it to be a wounded traveler.
Is it the fucking? It's a tennis ball
The
for
human
the
ball was.
Labrador demeanor.
The human ball was
So-
made from a glowing material that fell to Earth, presumably from outer
Here's a
space.
philosophical question, it's like a Zen cone. If a cursed character smells a human ball, what do they really smell? Go to the mountaintop and consider this for decades.
I
When
just
you
want to
come
point out.
down, you shall truly see.
So here's the real
When you come
absurdity
down,
of that, though.
You will truly know the
Okay. So, just to point out that,
There's more.
there's a little bit more here. So, if you go to the demon and look at the stats on it, attributes, IQ, 3d6.
Human
so that
intelligence,
means that, they have basically human intelligence. I would like to ask all of you gentlemen here at this table, if I were to say, get the ball and throw it, who here would be distracted by that?
Okay,
I think Caleb would go.
Two caveats
Caleb?
with that.
Yeah.
Can you produce no riffs as a sit? And can you get it into the ball in such a way that I can detect it? Then yes, I will walk 500 miles or whatever it takes to catch
We'll
that
walk
ball.
500 more.
I will consume it and make it part of me.
He will walk 500 more
I
just to
wanna
be the
say-
man who plays
this
risks
will
no
be-
more.
this is what I was like.
The class, there's obviously no CC about it. The night
Of course,
Tower.
it's an occupational character class.
Yes, occupation.
Oh god, now I have it.
Exactly. They have certain
Welcome
abilities.
to
They
our
can enter
world.
the D13 tower and blah, blah, blah.
There's a vaccination for it.
I love one of their powers is literally sense time. They have an uncanny
Oh, it's like
sense of
4-ish.
time. So that's a supernatural power. It's just the sense time. They have an internal
Yep,
clock.
about an hour.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So they're fucking Kramer from Seinfeld.
Oh god! That reminds me of a headcanon from Harry Potter.
Oh yeah. What?
Okay, Kingsley Shacklebolt.
Yes.
The one black wizard.
Yes.
Is that what they call him? Because that seems really racist.
What in the movies, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Well, he's
I just
the
meant
one-
like that's not his title, is
Throughout all of the Order of the Phoenix thing, all the good guys fighting the reemergence of Voldemort,
Yeah.
he's one of the few who's actively fighting Voldemort, who manages to never get caught working with Dumbledore when the Ministry was doing their persecution of Dumbledore and his allies. And you're like, how the fuck is this the guy that good? And then you watch the last movie
Yeah.
when they're defending Hogwarts and you see a Death Eater jump through the window. Shacklebolt waves his wand, stops him in midair, and essentially causes him to go backwards the way he came. Kingsley Shacklebolt is a fucking time mage.
Ah, I love time
I like
mages.
that. I think that makes
Yeah,
sense.
like,
So
I have seen, like, on Tumblr, there was a headcanon of talking about that one wizard who's just seen in a cameo in one of the coffee shops or whatever, reading a brief history of time while
Yeah,
stirring
he's stirring it with his thing.
Yeah, he's using magic without a wand. And so apparently this quantum
The
wizard...
space wizard.
He's the space wizard. He's the most powerful wizard in history because he can do magic without a wand, except for
And he
Hermione.
likes Stephen Hawking.
And he likes Stephen Hawking, so clearly he is the next time.
Science wizard.
But yeah, that's another
So,
headcanon.
last bit on the damn human ball.
See, we're no.
Ah,
Caleb, I tried.
They cost
tried to derail the
10,000
back to
credits
head
per.
I
canon.
appreciate that.
10,000 credits.
For
There
a
was this
rubber
one
ball
night when I was in
that won't fool
college,
anybody.
and this car alarm started going off. It was on and on and on. And it got to be like 3 in the morning. I had a test the next day, and I literally sat out there and looked at the car for 15 minutes with a baseball bat, just thinking, if I just stop the alarm, it'll be fine.
But yeah,
They won't know.
This'll-
The alarm's already going off.
Okay.
It's already been broken into. But then it stopped, and I went to bed, for 10 minutes. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever felt. And then it started again, and that just happened to me again.
Speaking of riffs.
The dream died. The fucking alarm starting again.
Speaking of riffs. One of my other favorite things where I started to lose my mind in this book, and I wish that this
Yeah,
were
there's
visible.
like the scrawling of madness.
All right, if you
Because-
leave that, I'll take a photo. That'll be
because
the illustration for this.
this is just from one of the ad pages. I love the ad pages because it's just Palladium ads for Palladium.
buy our book.
Riffs, the melding of every genre: science fiction, fantasy, horror, superheroes, post-apocalypse, and more. In a world where the impossible is reality and players are limited only by their imagination, and this is where my writing starts to take over, you can do anything in Riffs. Anything at all. The only limit is yourself.
And
The impossible is unknowable in Rifts. Welcome to Rifts. This is Rifts. The only limit is yourself.
Oh my god, did you use Zombocom
Fucking
riffs?
A! It's it's Zombocom. That's all it is, Dan. The only limit is your imagination and the ability to cross-reference hundreds of books that only say rules once.
And tables.
God, I'm starting to sound like Caleb.
You know, in prison,
Wait, is this from experience or when you
you've
get
killed
there?
so many people that you can't get out of solitary, and they realize nothing else will punish you, they do food loaf. And
Oh.
what food loaf is that
Is actually like, can't they not
they
do
take
food loaf
all of
anymore?
your meals and make them into a single disgusting loaf of
It's a
everything you
brick.
would have eaten in the day. They cook it into a brick, and you eat this disgusting paste of like corn and jello.
Did they finally
and
find
meat.
that as cruel and unusual? Or is
Oh
that
yes,
still...
yes. But Riffs is the food loaf of concepts. And by thinking about it, you
I'm writing it
are
down, by the
punishing
way.
your brain as if
No,
it is
no.
a lifer in a supermax prison. And I don't know why you choose to do
No,
that.
because that's the thing, Caleb.
So-
it's not something you do to yourself. Because the food loaf isn't the prisoner's choice. Other people do it to you.
What did I do to deserve
You
this?
chose to be friends with
Hold
those
on.
people.
So what is...
You stuck around after the haunting. That's
So-
what you did.
You had it out. You had a
I did have it out.
What's your headcanon for that?
If Riffs is the
Regret.
food loaf of gaming in a regular prison.
If that's not the title of this episode, fuck you.
All right.
This is the.
Oh wait, is the question going to be what's the food loaf in Death
Rip,
Valley?
I thought-
Yes! Yes!
I'm sorry, what was that?
What is Riss or the food loaf in Death Valley Freedom Prison?
I've convinced one of my coworkers to look into Death Valley Free Prison, so that'll be fun for him.
Did you? If you look at my picture page, somebody found somebody was selling original art from Death Valley Free Prison on eBay.
Oh god! Is it a map? Is it one of the
No,
maps?
it was two of the dudes, just big, burly, Max Mad looking motherfuckers. We went
You
from
mean
40.
Mad Max?
Yeah, Mad Max. I didn't think it's.
no,
I
it's
was
the
a
off-brand, it's like a
portrait
Kmart
of
brand,
necklace
Mad Max.
dude from the
Oh.
cover.
Why
The
do I-
dude without a neck. I want that blown up so I can hang it on my wall.
Why do I have to drive David home? There's not nearly enough wine to finish this episode.
I think we should stop now. I think we're at a
Agreed.
breaking point.
I don't think he meant forever, Caleb.
Yeah, no, we will not do riffs for a very long time.
No.
And by a very
At
long
least a
time,
month.
at least a month.
Until the next episode,
Like,
you and Tom.
maybe next-
record,
no,
when
well-
you talk about riffs.
Well, maybe
This reminds
We'll
me
do
of
it
a
without
three-
you. Yeah.
This reminds me of a 3-letter acronym from riffs that I know off the top of my head.
Can you guess?
No, thankfully.
You will.
Oh,
it's
God.
okay. Caleb, would you like some magic juice?
Thanks for supporting our endeavors here, everyone.
All right. We'll see you guys next time. This is our RPPR After Hours, Episode 3. The
Paid money for
riffs
this.
is the food
And
loaf of
Caleb
gaming.
is mad.
So, all right. Bye.